The following programs were originally aired live, long before the advent of high fidelity, and they were recorded using a variety of means, from direct recording onto early audio tape and glass records, to simply placing the microphone of a wire recorder in front of the speakers of a radio playing the program. I hope, however, that any variance in audio quality will not take away from your pleasure in listening to these, some of the all-time favorite shows.
The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
Next guest will give you the laughs, just don't ask him to lend you money. It's Jack Benny coming up next.
The Jack Benny Program. Quality of product is essential to continuing success. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw. LSMFT, 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 you bet. And how? Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw. Sold American. Independent tobacco experts present at the tobacco auctions can see the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy the finer, the lighter, the naturally milder Lucky Strike tobacco. This fine Lucky Strike tobacco means real deep-down smoking enjoyment for you. So smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike. The Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Barry Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Larry Stevens, and yours truly, Don Wilson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, last Tuesday was VE Day. But as President Truman said, we still have a problem, and here he is, Jack Benny. Thank you. Hello again, this is Jack Benny talking, and Don, the President, didn't mean me. He meant Japan. Japan, that little body of land surrounded by mimics. But getting back to VE Day, this certainly has been an historic week, hasn't it, Don? Oh, it certainly has. And Jack, when you were overseas, I'll bet you had no idea the Germans would surrender when they did. Would you mind repeating that, Don? I said when you were overseas, I'll bet you had no idea the Germans would surrender when they did. Don, are you kidding? What? Look, now that it can be told, let me tell you something. Now, wait a minute, Jack. You're not going to tell me that you planned the invasion. Oh, you know. And we try to keep it a secret. Oh, for heaven's sakes, Jack. You only went overseas to entertain the boys. You fell for that, too, huh? I didn't fall for anything. If you didn't go overseas to entertain the boys, why did you go? Don, when Churchill comes over here and hands you a note from Eisenhower, you can't say no. So let's not... Oh, hello, Mary.
Hello, Jack. Hello, Don. Hi, everybody.
Hey, you're pretty happy tonight. You're pretty happy tonight, aren't you, Mary?
Well, why shouldn't I be? Even though we still have work to do, at least the fighting in Europe is over.
That's right. And, Mary, you want to know something? Jack's taking credit for the whole thing.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Jack, what do you know about military affairs?
Listen, sister, I was in the Navy during the last war, and if I must say so myself, I was a darn good sailor.
Some sailor. That was 27 years ago, and you still haven't got your 85 points.
Mary, don't be funny. I helped make naval history.
Oh, sure.
Sure.
The first day you joined, you got on a boat, tried to salute an officer, stuck your thumb in your eye, couldn't see where you're going, stepped off the side of the ship.
Mary.
Your suspenders caught on a nail, and if they hadn't stuck a paintbrush in your hand, you'd have been non-essential.
All right, all right. Anyway, Don was talking about what I did in this war.
That's right, Mary, and Jack claims that he went overseas because Eisenhower sent for him.
Eisenhower sent for you?
Well,
Not only that, Mary, Jack said Churchill came over here and handed him the note.
Churchill handed you a... Jack Benny, if you weren't wearing glasses, I'd punch you right in the nose. Oh, put them back on and stop showing off.
I'm sorry, Mary, but it's little things like that that bring out the Errol Flynn in me. So watch it, kid.
Well, it's your own fault for making up things that aren't true. Churchill handing you a note.
I didn't say he actually handed me the note. He came over to my house. I wasn't home, so he walked around to the back porch and stuck it in a milk bottle. So naturally, I just... Come in?
Mr. Benny?
Yes?
You may not remember me after all these years, but I was in the Navy the same time you were.
At Great Lakes?
Yes, sir. The name's Flanagan.
Oh, Flanagan?
Seaman third class.
Oh. Well, look, Flanagan, why don't you sit down and after the show we'll have a bite and talk over old times?
Yes, sir. Hey, Benny, remember the first day you joined the Navy? You got on a ship, saluted an officer, stuck your thumb in your
They
eye.
know about that. They know about it.
I'll never forget you hanging there by your suspenders. They called you Benny the Human Yo-Yo.
Look, Flanagan.
Remember the time you had a watch tattooed on your wrist so you wouldn't have to buy one?
Never mind.
Then you tried to get your money back because it wouldn't run?
Flanagan, never mind my tattoo. Now go sit down.
Yes, sir. Those were the days.
Now, where was I?
On the back porch with a milk bottle.
Oh, yeah. So I read the note from Eisenhower, packed as fast as I could, grabbed the first plane, and when I arrived overseas, who do you think I met?
The milkman. He read the note first.
Well, if you're not going to believe anything I say, there's no use letting you in.
Hello, Mr. Benny. What are you mad about?
Oh, nothing, Larry. It's just that I've been telling Mary and Don about my military accomplishments, and they don't believe me.
Oh. Well, why don't you tell it to me, Mr. Benny? I believe you.
You will, kid?
Sure, it's in my contract.
Oh, yes. Well, come here, kid. You see, Larry, when I was overseas, I perfected a new system for dive bombing.
You did?
Yes, and to demonstrate my system, I took a bomber up 5,000 feet, put it into a dive.
You flew a dive bomber?
Certainly. What are you laughing at?
You're the only man I know who blacks out on a merry-go-round.
That only happened once. I was reaching for the brass ring and the buckle broke on my safety belt. Anyway, Larry, I'll tell you more about it later. Let's have your song now.
Okay. Hey, Benny.
Now what?
Remember the time you stuck your head out of a porthole and you couldn't get it back in?
Flanagan, look at...
For 2 weeks, we had to stand on the dock and throw food at you. Cut that out.
Larry, go ahead and sing. Throwing food at me. They could at least open the eggs, you know.
There's a happy land somewhere, and it's just a prayer away.
sung by Larry Stevens. Very good, Larry. And now, kid, as I started to tell you, after I perfected the dive bomber, I came
Hiya,
back...
Jackson. Hello, Libby. You clowns getting any laughs?
Oh, hello, Phil. What do you hear from Vermouth, Vermont? Huh?
All right, Jackson. So I made a mistake last week. That can happen to anybody.
I know, but it was written right in the script. French Vermouth. And you called it French Vermont.
All right, I'm sorry.
Don't you know the difference between Vermouth and Vermont?
No, I never drank any Vermont.
You must have been drinking something.
Now, wait a minute, Jackson. You ain't going to hang that on me. I've been on the wagon for 3 months, and I haven't touched a drop.
Well, congratulations. For 3 months, you haven't had a single... Say, Phil, this is the first time I ever noticed it. You've got blue eyes. John, Mary, look.
Yeah.
Hey, Libby, give me a mirror. I want to see, too.
Well, you can take our word for it. You're very pretty.
Say, Phil, how's your nightclub doing now that the curfew's been lifted?
Oh, swell, Libby, swell.
You know, they lifted the ban on racing, too.
That won't make no difference to me, Jackson. We never serve many horses anyway.
Well, it may not make any difference to you, but Crosby is very happy about it. He can race his horses again.
Yeah, now that the curfew's lifted, they won't have to come in by midnight.
Now, kids, I don't want to change the subject, but you know, next Sunday we're broadcasting from San Francisco. And we're leaving tonight, so I want you all to... I'll take it. Hello? Long distance? Just a minute. Mary, it's for you, Plainfield, New Jersey.
Oh, it must be Mama.
Yeah.
Hello? Hello, Mama. I was going to call you right after the show. Happy Mother's Day. It's good to hear your voice, too. Where's Papa? He's in the refrigerator reading a newspaper.
What?
Oh, all the other lights are burned out.
What a family. How's your sister, Babe?
I'll find out. Say, Mama, how's Babe? Oh, for heaven's sake, when?
What happened, Mary?
She got her nose caught in the vacuum cleaner.
I knew she could do it.
What's that, Mama? You couldn't remove the vacuum cleaner, so you sent for the head of the FBI? But, Mama, it's a different Hoover that makes those.
I wonder how she breathes with that vacuum cleaner on her nose.
Mama, how can Babe breathe with her nose stuck in the vacuum cleaner? Oh, you keep it running.
Look, Mary, we're doing a program.
Mama, I've got to hang up now, so I'll write you along. What's that, Mama?
Mary, please.
Cousin Bobby got out of the Army under the new system?
Well,
Oh, Mama.
what is it, Mary?
Mama said Bobby's been overseas so long he was discharged and had enough points left over to buy a ham.
Your mother's a card.
Well, goodbye, Mama, and happy Mother's Day.
You know, Mary, I like your mother. In fact, today we should all pay tribute to the one person to whom we owe so much. As for myself, I can say all that I am today, I owe to my mother.
Now, wait a minute, Jackson. You ain't going to blame any sweet little old lady on that.
Well, just take your vermouth and go back to Vermont. Now, kids, as I started to say before...
Benny, when are you going to get to that clever stuff?
What?
You know, that part where you go...
Wait a minute. I don't do that. You're talking about the commercials.
Yeah, that's the stuff I like. Where those guys rush out and say, why, sure, yes, sir, you bet. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the job.
Wait a minute.
And that trained cricket you got.
Cricket?
Yeah, the one that goes tick, 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 tick.
See, I always thought a man did that.
When are you going to get to that?
That comes later at the end of the show.
Well, hurry up. Get through with your stuff, will you? You're holding things up.
All right, Flanagan, sit down. Now, kids, as I started to tell you, we're all meeting tonight at the station a half hour before our train leaves. I got to run home now because I got some last-minute packing to do.
What time is it now, Jack?
I don't know. My tattoo isn't running. My watch isn't running. Now, Phil, you and the rest of the gang finish the program and see that nobody misses the train.
Okay, Jackson.
So long, kids. See you later. Rochester, I'm late and I've got to hurry. Come on and help me, will you?
I've already started packing for you, boss.
Oh, swell. How far have you gotten?
Well, I packed your iron capsules, Scotch emulsion, cod liver oil, yeast tablets, aspirin, sleeping pills, Benzedrine, hair tonic, blood tonic, nerve tonic,
Now let's get the...
eye drops, nose drops, ear drops, cough drops,
Now let's get all the...
corn pads, bunion pads, heating pads, shoulder pads,
Now let's...
vitamins A, B, C, D, and L, F, M, F, C.
Good.
Boss, if you really need all this stuff, you better not go.
I'm going anyway. Now pack my shirts while I go in the bathroom and get the rest of my toilet articles. Let's see. Toothpaste, toothbrush, shaving cream, razor. Let me see. Oh, Rochester, when did I put a new blade in my razor?
New blade? Let me think, boss. Let me think. Oh, yeah, I remember. It was D-Day plus 6.
Oh, then this blade is still good. But I'll take along a new one. Sometimes they break. Now, let's see. Shaving brush, face lotion, powder, gargle, throat spray, sympathy soothing pills. You're tapping this, you're tapping this, you're tapping. Now getting away from it. That Cole Porter writes beautiful lyrics. Well, I guess I got everything. How you doing, Rochester?
I'm about half done.
Good. And say, Rochester, I've been meaning to tell you. I might be entertaining some important delegates from the conference, like Anthony Eden. And I want you to be very dignified.
Dignified?
Yes, I want you to speak with a broad A. You know, can't, dance, command, and so on. Now repeat this sentence after me. I can't dance this afternoon as I have paint on my pawns.
Oh, boss, this is so silly.
There's nothing silly about it. Now repeat it.
Okay. I can't dance this afternoon as I have paint on my palms.
That's very good, Rochester. And remember it when I'm entertaining in San Francisco. Now let's get on with the packing. I'll take my socks and put them in a small bag and put my handkerchief. Answer the phone, Rochester.
Are you there? This is the residence of Jack Benny, star of the cinema, legitimate drama, and wireless. Autographed photographs, 2 for a shilling. Men of the Army, Marines, or His Majesty's Navy, half price. Hey, come again? Oh, this is most distressing. Most distressing. Right home, I'll tell it. Cheerio. Pip, pip.
Who was that, Rochester?
Your tailor, sir. He said you can't dance this afternoon unless you pay in advance for your pants.
Now cut that out. You don't have to begin till we get to San Francisco. Now you finish packing while I go into my vault and get some money. I think I need a new drawbridge. Well, I better cross over the moat to the safe.
Oh, who goes there?
Oh, it's only me, Ed. I want to get into my safe.
Oh, it's you, Mr. Benny.
Yes. Well, we're having very lovely weather now, Ed. It's spring again.
Spring? That must be nice.
By the way, Ed, I've got some good news for you. The war in Europe is over. Germany surrendered on Tuesday.
Oh, that's wonderful. Did they catch the Kaiser?
No, Ed, that was... Oh, I'll explain it to you some other time. Right now, I'd like to open my safe.
Very good, sir. Shall I put on my blindfold?
Of course not, Ed. Of course not. I trust you. Now, let's see. The combination is right to 45, left to 160, back to 15, then left to 110. There. much money will I need? I'll be in San Francisco for 10 days. There'll be hotel bills, meals, entertainment, tips. $15 ought to be enough. Maybe I should take 20. Nah, if I take a lot, I'll just spend it. I'll take 15. But then again, maybe I'll need 20. Oh, well, I'll play safe and take 17.50. There.
Goodbye, Mr. Benny.
Goodbye, Ed. See you in the fall.
I'll be here.
Well, come on, Rochester. We better hurry to the station. I hope my gang is there.
Train leaving on track 5 for Anaheim, Azusa, and Cucamonga. Train leaving on track 5 for Anaheim, Azusa, and Cucamonga.
Rochester, check my bag. I'm going up to the information booth to make sure about the time our train leaves.
Yes, sir.
Pardon me, are you the information clerk?
Well, what do you think I am in this cage? A bird of paradise?
I always have to run into him. Look, I'm going to San Francisco.
Well, don't tell me the La Brea Tar Pits is sending a delegate to the conference.
Don't be funny. All I want to know is when my train leaves for San Francisco. And if you won't tell
Get
me...
your hands off my desk.
I just want to look it up on
Stop
the...
crumpling my timetable.
Then will you please tell me what time my train leaves for San Francisco?
Now, which train do you want to go on, the Lark or the Owl?
What's the difference?
The Lark can sing, silly.
Look, I want to go on the...
Train leaving on track 5 for Anaheim, Azusa, and Cucamonga.
Oh, here's Marion Phil. Here I am, kids.
Hurry up, Jack. Our train's about to leave.
Come on, Jackson. Okay, I'll be right with you.
Train leaving on track 5 for Anaheim, Azusa, and Cucamonga. Train leaving on track 5 for Anaheim, Azusa, and Cucamonga. Rum and Cucamonga. Cucamonga.
Mary, Phil, stop dancing. Our train's leaving.
Jack, we'll be back in just a minute with a very important message. But first, here's my good friend, L.A. Speed Race.
Quality of product is essential to continuing success. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. And that's quality where fine quality counts, right in the tobacco itself. Yes, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. The finer, the lighter, the naturally milder Lucky Strike tobacco. So smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw. The famous tobacco auctioneers here on tonight's program are Mr. L.A. Speed Riggs of Goldsboro, North Carolina, and Mr. F.E. Boone of Lexington, Kentucky. And this is Basil Risedale speaking. LSMFT, LSMFT, LSMFT. Fine tobacco makes a fine cigarette. So smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
Ladies and gentlemen, it seems like more than a coincidence that Mother's Day should fall on the first Sunday after VE Day. And today, glowing tributes have been paid to mothers everywhere. At this moment, I wish it were possible to tune in on the hearts and thoughts of the mothers whose fighting sons are far away from home. From them, we would learn the true meaning of VE Day and Mother's Day. They probably wouldn't express their feelings in a lot of fancy words. Perhaps they couldn't. But then they don't have to, because we can see in their faces not only sorrow and anxiety, but courage and faith. Mothers who have given the most and asked the least are doing the hardest job to be done in war, staying at home, waiting. So today, our thoughts and prayers are with all mothers, as well as the hope that by next Mother's Day, their Johnnies will have come marching home.
Out is up next on nightly old-time radio shows.
Lights out, everybody, for the devil and Mr. O.
Good evening. This is Van Christo. Welcome to the Van Christo Radio Theater. Tonight and in the coming weeks, we are proud to present the resurrected radio plays of Mr. O, Arch Oboler. Arch Oboler is regarded by many drama critics as one of the greatest radio playwrights of all times. He achieved national acclaim as the writer and producer of the highly popular Lights Out series. The true radio buff will remember many of the plays in the Devil and Mr. O collection from Oboler's former network series. These tales of the supernatural and supernormal represent radio drama at its finest. This is the theater of your mind, where you are about to enter the zero dimension. There are no boundaries or time limits here, only the depths of your own imagination. And now, to tell you about tonight's program, here is Mr. O.
This is Mr. O, Arch Oboler. I bring you a play titled Alley Cat, with apologies to all cats, large and small, particularly very large ones. Which brings me to a question. Mister, have you ever quarreled with your wife? Or, lady, have you ever had harsh words with your husband? Of course not. Perish the thought, I withdraw the question. But Pop and Mama, lovers, if you've ever quarreled with each other, I'll guarantee you'll never want to do it again after you listen to Alley Cat. But that happens after a word from your announcer.
Are you aware?
And now, if you haven't already done so, turn off your lights now and listen to Alley Cat.
Hey, cut it out, will you? Linda, for the love of... Cut it out, will you? The old man will be panning here in a minute.
Yeah, so what? Give me my drink, Queenie. Oh, baby, do I feel swell.
Hey, look what time it is. Come on, Queenie. We better blow out of here.
Yeah. No, don't go. I don't want to be alone.
What do you mean alone? Your husband's here, ain't he?
Ah, that guy. What does he know about having fun? Work. Makes me sick where I've never been sick before. That's pretty good, huh, Kenny? Come on, stick around. Let's have some more fun. St. Louis woman with all a diamond ring.
For heaven's sake, Linda.
Well, speak of the devil. Hiya, Johnny boy. Come on in. The water's fine. Only it ain't water.
Linda, for heaven's sake, I'm trying to work.
Go away. Go away. You're spoiling my party. Throw him out of here, Kenny. He's only my husband.
Linda, take it easy.
Get out of here. You, whatever your name is.
Okay.
And take that woman with you. Go on, clear out.
No, wait. Don't listen to him. It's my house. My house. What, you kick them out.
Look,
my friends.
I begged with you, pleaded with you to keep these people out of this house while I'm trying to get some work done. Haven't you any consideration at all?
You kick them out. My friends.
Yes, and I'll do it again every time I find them here. They're no good, not a one of them. You've promised me time and time again to give them up.
I'll call them back. I'll call them all back. You can't tell me what to do. Not me. They're my friends, mine. I'd give a dozen of you for one of them.
All right, Linda. If that's the way you feel. You haven't got a grain of loyalty in you. All I ask is a little peace and quiet in my own home, and I can't even have that.
Go away. Go
Night
away.
after night, you and these people yowling and screaming like a pack of alley cats, and you the worst of all. I'm through, Linda. I'm through with you for good.
Oh, no, you're not. Oh, no, you're not.
Keep away from me. Keep away. Oh, Linda.
Mm-hmm. You see? You're not through with me at all. You'll never be through with me. Never.
Oh, Linda.
Now, let me go. Let me go. I don't want you, you fool. You're not through with me. I'm through with you.
No,
I'm
listen.
tired of you. Do you hear me? Tired of you. I'm going to get so far away from that smug face of yours I couldn't see it with a telescope.
Linda, my wife.
Ha! Your wife. Why do you think I married you?
Oh, you love me.
I married you because I was sick of working in a two-bit barber shop, because I was sick of living in a hall bedroom wearing bargain sale dresses. I wanted dough, plenty of it, all I could get. And you were the best chance to get it that came my way.
No, Linda, you did love me. You must have loved me.
Oh, well, I loved you about as much as that canary up there loves its cage. I told myself I'd stay with you a year, divorce you, stick you for plenty of alimony, and then get out.
We've been married 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years. Because you fooled me. That's why.
I fooled you?
Yeah. You started to make a lot of money. More money than I ever thought you could make. So you're giving me the air,
No, Linda, I love you. I didn't mean what I said. I didn't.
Well, I did.
Linda, don't leave me. You're no good. I know you're no good, but heaven help me, I love you. I'll never love anybody else.
Get out of my way.
No, I won't let you go. You've got to stay.
Get your hands
You're
off.
no good. You cost me my self-respect, but you stay with me. You stay with me or I'll cut you off without a cent. You'll never get a dime from me, not a dime. Stop it. Stop laughing.
Oh, you sap. You fat-headed sap.
Stop that.
Mm-hmm. So you're gonna cut me off without a cent, are you? Why, you fool. I've got everything that belongs to you now. You hear me? Everything.
What are you talking about?
This house. It's in my name, isn't it? The car. It's in my name, isn't it?
No, you wouldn't.
Oh, wouldn't I? Well, listen to this, my darling husband. I cleaned out the bank account yesterday.
Oh, no.
Every cent of it. I won't be in the street. Oh, no. You will. Now, this is my house. Get your things and get out of here.
I'll kill you.
No,
I'll kill you.
No, let me go. Let me go. Oh. You touch me again and I'll tear your eyes out.
You cat.
Get out of my way.
That's what you are, a cat. A big, white, heartless cat.
Get out of my
You
way.
think like one, you screech like one, you claw like one. You even look like one. Your eyes, they're cat's eyes. That's what they are, cat's eyes. A cat, that's what you are. A white cat. I didn't marry a woman, I married a cat.
Keep it up.
Laugh
Keep
at
it
me.
up. You're doing
Go ahead, laugh at me. You're a cat, a sneaking, yowling cat. A cat. You're a cat. A cat. Cat. You're a cat.
Now, that's enough of that. I don't like it.
A cat.
Stop saying it.
A cat, you hear me? A cat.
John. Stop staring at me like that. Stop staring at me. John. What's happening to me? John, my head. I can hardly see. John, help me. John.
Linda.
What are you staring at? What are you staring at? What are you...
Linda! Linda!
John, you've got to control yourself. Everything will be all right.
Oh, Doctor, what have I done? What have I done?
John, please. Please pull yourself together.
I can't.
You are not entirely to blame for what happened.
Oh, I did it. I'm to blame. What'll I do? What'll I do?
Stop talking like that. It's preposterous to say you were to blame. She was in a hysterical condition.
I know.
The suggestion that she was a cat caught her in an unguarded moment and resulted in temporary neurosis.
But she... Doctor, can I go in and see her?
But I tell you, she's sleeping.
I know, but... Doctor, I've got to see her. I've got to look at her. I've got to make sure she's all right. Don't you see? I've got to make sure.
Now, John, please. You've had a hard time of it. You'd better get to bed and get some rest.
No. Doctor, listen to me. I've got to see her again. I've got to make sure she's all right. I can't rest until I know.
But I tell you... Oh, very well. Just for the moment.
Yes.
Be very quiet.
Yes.
There. You see? She's resting very nicely.
Doctor, look. What? Her hands. Look at her hands. And her teeth. Linda.
No, John. You'll waken her. John.
Linda. Oh, Doctor, listen to her.
Steady, John.
I can't stand it, I tell you. Doctor, what is it? What's happening to her?
I don't know, John. I don't know.
Oh, listen to her. What'll I do?
Fingers into claws. Teeth into fangs. It can't be happening.
Well, it is.
And yet I've seen it with my own eyes.
You've got to do something, Doctor. You've got to. You're my friend. You've got to help me.
But what? In the name of all that's rational, what?
Well, think. There must be something you can do. A drug, something.
Oh, John, I don't know what to say. I can't think. I'll call in someone else. Yes, that's it. I'll inform the authorities. They'll take care of everything.
No. Wait, Doctor, wait.
What's the matter? What is it?
You're going to inform the authorities?
Yes, of course. Don't you see, my boy, it's the simplest way out of this.
Way out?
Of course. For you and for me.
What do you mean?
This horrible thing that's happened to Linda, it goes beyond just you and me. It goes beyond the normal into the supernatural. The world should know about it.
No, stop. You mean you're going to let everyone know what's happened to Linda?
Of course I am.
But you can't do that. She's my wife. Do you hear me? My wife?
No. Now don't get excited again, John. Listen sensibly. We owe it to science.
Science? Who cares about science? She's Linda. She's my wife. And I cursed her to God, and I turned her into a yowling beast. It's my shame, mine. And you're not going to tell anyone else about it. No one.
It's my duty, John. I must inform the authorities.
No. Keep away from that phone. Keep away, I say.
I'm sorry, John. I must call.
Oh.
John. My friend.
No. Try to sleep, darling. Try to sleep. Yes, I know, darling, but it's almost morning. You must rest. Sleep, Linda, sleep, my darling. All right, darling, I won't cry. I've got to be strong. I've got to help you. And I did help you. He was going to tell them about you. Everyone. They'd have taken you away from me, locked you up, pointed at you, laughed at you. But I stopped him, Linda. I stopped him for you. He called me friend. But you're my wife, beloved. And I love you. I pleased you, haven't I, my darling? I never could please you before, could I? But now I've pleased you. I'll tell them he never came here, and no one will ever know, darling. No one but you and I. What is it, darling? What's the matter? Why are you getting up? What is it? Why go to the window? What do you want out there? Oh, if I could only understand you. If I could only know what you're trying to say to me. Oh, no. Linda, stop. On my knees, I'm begging you to stop. Linda, beloved, stop.
Ladies and gentlemen, we leave our The Devil in Mr. O's story, Alley Cat, to take a normal breath and a word from your announcer. And now back to our The Devil in Mr. O's story of Alley Cat.
Yes, I'm coming.
Good morning, Mr. Taylor.
Oh, it's you.
I found this note saying you wanted to talk to me. And, Jay, I hope you're not going to quit taking milk from me.
No, I'm not going to stop taking milk. That's what I wanted to see you about. I want milk. More milk. Cream. Everything.
Well, sure. How much do you want?
4 bottles of milk. No, 6.
6?
Yes, and cream. 6 bottles of cream.
Is something wrong, Mr. Taylor?
Wrong? Why do you think something's wrong?
Well, I only meant...
You meant what? Speak up, you meant what?
Well, don't get sore, Mr. Taylor. I just meant... Well, you don't look so well, and... well, you know how it is. Sometimes a fella has a couple too many and starts ordering all the milk in the world.
You fool, I'm not drunk. Do you want some of that milk, or do I have to get another milk?
No, I'll get it for you.
Well, hurry.
6 quarts, 6 cream. Only him and his old lady. The guy's nuts.
Well, good morning, Mr. Taylor. Early again this morning, ain't you?
Morning.
My first customer every morning for the last 3 days. I was saying to my wife this morning...
Yes, Mr. Heinrich. Some other time. I'm in a hurry. My order, please.
Sure, but you didn't give me an order yet. How about a nice broiling steak?
No, nothing like that.
But broiling
No,
steak...
stop it. I'm in a hurry, I tell you.
All right. You don't have to get so excited, Mr. Taylor. Now, if you'll tell me what you want, I'll get it for you.
Oh, well, I don't know exactly. A couple of pounds of fresh liver. Yes, that's it, fresh liver.
What? Again?
You heard me?
Oh, sure, I heard you, but look here, for 3 days now, ever since your wife went away, you eat nothing but liver.
Are you going to fill my order?
Sure, I'll fill your order. Nice and fresh, huh? So, 2 pounds, yeah. There we are. Say, you'd think you was raising cats or something.
What? Why do you say that?
Well, you buy liver every day. Oh, this morning I caught a couple of mice in a trap. Maybe you'd like to take them along for the cat, too. Huh?
Don't say that! Don't say that!
Mr. Taylor, the liver... forgot. Man's crazy. What did I say that was wrong? Cats like to eat mice.
Oh, my Linda. My dearest Linda. Close to me. So close to me. Oh, my darling, my darling. It's better this way. You can't leave me now. I'll have you with me always. I'll keep you here. Yes? Just you and I. I won't answer it. They'll go away. All right, I'll answer it. Linda, it can't be anyone that knows. He's dead. I buried him, Linda. You know that. No, stay here, my beloved. They mustn't see you. Be very quiet. Very quiet. Yes, I'm coming. Well, what is it?
Are you the owner of this building?
Yes, what do you want?
Kerrigan's the name. I'm your neighbor. I've got that place across the alley from you.
Oh, my neighbor?
Yeah, Kerrigan's the name. I'm with the department.
Department?
Yeah, I'm desk sergeant at the 3rd District Station.
A policeman?
Yeah, I'm off duty today, so I thought I'd drop over and speak to you. Do you mind if I step in for a moment?
Step in? Oh, no, not at all.
Thank you. Well, you got a nice place here.
Yes. Nice, very nice.
You know the same contractors made this place as made mine. You didn't know that, I bet.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, an Irishman with the name of Gil Hooley. If he was alive now, some of the people along here that bought places from him would murder him. What with the trouble they're having.
Oh, trouble?
Yeah, cheap material, plaster cracking, floor sagging, stuff like that.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Now, you take my place. I've had to have a new roof put on and new gutters put in, and I never know what'll go wrong next. Anything wrong around here?
Here? Oh, no, nothing at all.
Yeah, then you're lucky. Say.
What's the matter?
I just remember why I come over. If you don't mind, I'll tell you.
Yes?
Now, it ain't me that's complaining, Mr. Taylor. I'm the kind of a man that can sleep in a boiler factory. But it's my Ella. There's a light sleeper for you. I always say that if a star in heaven twinkles too much, the noise wakes up my Ella.
What's the trouble?
Oh, no trouble at all, Mr. Taylor. Like I'm telling you, I'm the last man in the world to go around having trouble with me neighbors. But you know how the women are. Always finding something to make a fuss about. Oh, say, I'm not disturbing her, am I?
Disturbing?
Yeah, you know, your missus. She's not sleeping in the bedroom there, is she?
No, of course not. There's no one in there.
I thought maybe seeing the doors closed.
No, I tell you there's no one in there. My wife is out of town.
Well, that's fine. I always like to talk things over man to man without the women around. That's why I made my Ella stay home. Let me handle this, I says. There's anything wrong, I says. Let me do the talking and we'll stay good.
What is it? What's wrong? What do you want to tell me?
Well, to put it plain, it's the cat.
Cat?
Yeah, the cat. You just got it, didn't you?
You had a cat?
Yeah, it started a few nights ago. No, it ain't disturbed me none, like I says, but my Ella. Well, you see, our bedroom window faces right on the alley, and by golly, she hears every meow that animal makes.
You're wrong.
Huh?
I have no cat.
But my Ella heard... I heard it, too, for that matter.
I have no cat.
But I'm telling you, it came from this house.
And I tell you I have no cat. Isn't that sufficient?
Well, now, seeing as you put it so plain, I'll be speaking up plain myself. I'm telling you, I heard a cat yowling last night, and the night before, and the night before that. And as sure as my name's Thomas Kerrigan, it came right from this house. Now, what do you say to that?
Get out.
Now, wait a second, my bucko. Well, get on your high horse.
Get out. Get out of my house.
Well, you sure are making a lot of noise about nothing, young fella. But it's your house, and if that's the kind of a neighbor you want to be, I guess I could...
What are you standing there for? Get out. Get out.
Now, just a minute. Take it easy. No cat, eh? Well, what was that I just heard?
Nothing at all. You've got no right to be coming...
You may not be a liar, but you sure are something close to it. If that ain't a cat in that bedroom there, then I ain't never heard a cat.
Get out! Get out of here!
Oh, no, I won't. Well, listen to that cat. If that ain't creating a public nuisance, I'd like to know what it is.
It's none of your business. Get out of here. This is my house. Get out of here.
Stop pulling at me, bucko. I may be off duty, but I'm still an officer of the law, and I'm telling you, that cat in there is violating the city ordinance. Now, if you don't make it shut up, disturbing me, Ella, I will.
Stay away from that door. Stay away from that door.
Say, listen to it. That ain't no cat you got in there.
Yes, I lied. It is a cat. It's just a cat. But I'll make it be quiet. But go away.
Now, wait a minute. Take it easy. If it's just a cat, what are you getting so excited about? Just look at her.
No.
Look at her. Your eyes blazing. What's going on here? I think I'll have a look.
No. Stay away.
Oh, no. Get away. Take it away.
I told you to go.
My gun. I'll get my gun. My gun.
Linda, did you hear him? His gun. Yes. Close to me. Yes, darling, stay close to me. If he comes back, you'll... No, they won't hurt you. I won't let them. I did this to you, I did. I cursed you to God. No, they won't hurt you. They won't. Wait there. I've got to fight it. They won't hurt you, Linda. No, they can't. I've got it. Now they won't hurt you, Linda. I swear it. They won't ever hurt you. No, don't look at my hand. No, why shouldn't you look at it? Yes. There's a gun in my hand. But not to hurt you, darling. It's just to help you. I swear. To help you. Yes. Yes, so close to me. I must do it quickly. Quickly. No, don't try to pull away. No, Linda, stay here. I must hold you. I must. You'll be back in a moment. I mustn't miss. Linda, my darling. I heard my beloved. I heard you. Wait for me, my beloved.
This is Mr. O. Archobler again. Let me tell you about next week's package of thrills and chills. It's a story about... but more after a word from your own announcer. This is Mr. O again. Have you ever wanted to turn time backwards? I mean really backwards. We do that next time with a play titled Neanderthal. It's a story about a past which I promise you will make you forget, at least for a while, the woes and troubles of today. But that's next time. It is later than you think.
That's our story for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it and will join us again as we travel through the zero dimension in the theater of your own imagination. So until we meet again next week, when I bring you another story in the night, this is Van Christo reminding you that the extent of your own imagination is unlimited. One purpose of these programs is to help you exercise those imaginative powers. I hope we've succeeded. Good night. Those imaginative powers. I hope we've succeeded. Good night.
Hey, man, how about we check in with Fibber, Magee, and Molly next? That sounds good to me.
The Pet Milk Program with Fibber, Magee, and Molly. The first evaporated milk, Pet Milk, presents Fibber, Magee, and Molly with Bill Thompson, Gail Gordon, Arthur Q. Bryan, Dick LeGrand, Cliff Arquette, and me, Harlow Wilcox. The show is written by Phil Leslie and directed by Max Hutto with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. Because you want to give your baby the best possible start in life, naturally you will want him to have the milk that can do the most for him. And no milk you can buy can do more for a baby than Pet evaporated milk. Strong, straight limbs and sound teeth? Yes, Pet milk has what it takes to enable a baby to build bones that are straight and strong. And Pet milk also provides the substances that build sound teeth. And how will your baby grow on Pet milk? Well, if you could see how steadily and sturdily hundreds of thousands of babies are growing on this favored form of milk, you'd have your answer. And remember this, Pet milk, with all its beneficial qualities, costs less generally than any other form of whole milk. Ask your doctor about Pet milk, the first evaporated milk, the first food for babies. Behind every great inventor in history, you'll always find a patient wife. And behind the inventor who's working on a new kind of fish bait at 79 Wistful Vista right now, you'll find a patient wife with a horrified look. As we join Fibber, Magee, and Molly.
see, now, a cup of salmon eggs, a little more flour, 3 dry flies, a couple of wet flies. Boy, oh boy, is this terrific. Magee's Wonder Bait.
Bait, is it?
Yep.
It looks like a batch of dirty dough. And I don't mean muddy money.
It'll mean money when I put it on the market, kiddo. This stuff will be snapped up like a busted garter. Hand me the flour. Thanks. Go,
How does it work, anyhow?
Huh?
Does the fish take a bite out of it, scream, and jump out of the lake? Or do you roll it into loaves, bake it, and then beat them over the head with it?
Save the jokes, Mrs. Magee. You'll need them if we're going to be on all summer. No, but this is for keeps, kiddo. You're looking at the greatest thing that's happened to fishermen since Isaac Walton invented the alibi. This thing is so big, it scares me.
It's getting bigger all the time, too. Maybe you put too much flour in it.
I'm putting everything into it. Everything a fish ever bites on. Dry flies, wet flies, salmon eggs, dough bait, hamburger, minnows. Oh, hand me some more of that liver there, will you? Oh, never mind, I got it.
Heavenly days, what an idea.
I had to make a few substitutions, of course. We didn't have any minnows in the cupboard, so I opened a can of sardines. Going to mix everything in the dough good, and then I'm going...
Somebody at the back door. Come in.
Oh, hi, old-timer.
Hello there, kid.
Hello, Mr. Old-Timer.
What you doing, Johnny? Baking a cake? Because that's no way to bake a cake. I want to tell you.
No. This is a new type of fish bait, old-timer. Going to make myself $1 million in no time on this stuff. I'll be rolling in dough, touring the country in my own private yacht. Servants, imported cigars.
Son.
Huh?
Let me give you a word of advice.
Yeah?
Being a millionaire ain't happiness.
Oh, no? If I had $1 million, boy, I wouldn't care whether I was happy or not. I'll bet I'd be the laughingest unhappy millionaire you ever met.
Mr. Old-Timer, did you ever know any millionaires?
Just one, daughter. My great-uncle Sludge.
Uncle Sludge?
Had a lot of oil wells down in Texas.
Texas? Panhandle?
Nope, he won them in a poker game, Johnny. Had so much money he was miserable.
Yeah?
Come in faster than he could spend it.
Well.
Took to smoking $5 cigars and hired a boy just to bite the end off of them.
That's for me.
Paid a feller just to stand next to him all day and light him with $100 bills.
Boy.
Got so if he lit him with anything less than a 50, it'd give him the hiccups.
Oh, my goodness.
Had a special manicurist to take care of his fingernails and another one to look after his thumbs.
It sounds pretty soft to me.
That's how we got, Johnny. Soft living made him lazy.
Yeah.
Got tired of feeding himself and hired 2 butlers. One to handle his knife for him and the other one to handle the fork. And then, labor trouble.
Labor trouble?
Uncle Sludge liked to be knife-fed, daughter. Fellow holding his knife for him worked harder than the fork man, and he struck for higher wages. Got into an argument, and they both walked out and left him. And that was the end.
The end? You mean?
Yep. Uncle Sludge sat there at a table full of fried chicken and slowly starved to death. Take my advice, son. Stay poor and keep your health. So long, daughter.
Billy Mills, the orchestra, and the Wang Wang Blues.
Boy, this bait is really shaping up now, Molly. I got everything in it now.
Well, it certainly is a fascinating-looking hunk of gunk.
Now, I'm going to pinch it off and roll it into little balls now. Bait size.
Oh?
Like that. Got a new name for it, too. Magee's Unbeatable Bait Balls. Like it?
Love it.
Ah, this is the greatest idea I ever had, kiddo. This is the greatest idea. I'll clean up.
You can stand it. So can that sink.
Don't you worry about the sink, baby. You've been a good kid, and I ain't going to never forget it.
Well, good.
The very first $1 million I make out of this new invention, I'm going to buy you a new sink.
Ah, you're sweet.
Yeah.
If we make $2 million, can I have a new mop? Or is that expecting too much? You know, it's getting so that you can't...
Gee, Molly, anyone home?
Oh, out here, Mr. Mayor.
Now, Latrivia's the fisherman. Wait till he hears this idea, boy. You'll find... Oh, hi, Latrivia.
Hello, Mr. Mayor.
Hello, Molly. Magee.
Hi.
Well, making yourself some marbles, I see. You play much?
These ain't marbles, Latrivia. These is bait.
Bait?
Yep. Look, Latrivia, did you ever fish all day and not get a single nibble?
Doesn't everybody?
Well, yeah, but look, what would you do if if a guy handed you a type of bait that every time you threw it in the water, you'd catch a fish? I made it.
Well, I'd drop dead, I suppose. Like anyone else. Why?
Because this is it, boy. This is the bait that's got everything. Yes, sir, and only $1 a dozen. Whatever they're biting on, this is it. Minnow, dough bait, hamburger, dry flies, breadcrumbs, pork rind, wet flies, salmon eggs.
Oh, now you're joking, Magee.
No, I'm not
It's
either.
a very amusing idea, but it couldn't possibly work, of course.
Oh, no.
Well, of course not. I've seen fish caught on feathers, fur, rubber bands, egg sandwiches, and scraps of old red flannel underwear. But if you think I'd be foolish enough to go for a silly thing like this, sell me a dozen. Make it 2 dozen.
Well, heavenly days, your first sale, dearie. You're in business.
I told you fishermen would go for this idea, Molly. Yeah, get a bag, kiddo. I'll count them out. 1, 2...
Dr. Gamble and I are going out to Dugan's Lake around 4 o'clock anyhow, Magee.
Well, we'll see you there. We're going out there ourselves after a while. Yeah, here you are. 2 dozen. That's $2.
Yeah, good.
Thanks, boy. Yeah. Now, is there anything else I can do to help you make your fishing trip more enjoyable today, Mr. Mayor?
Why, yes, there is.
What?
Stay home.
My, the mayor is sweet, isn't he, dearie?
Hey, you know, the more I think about this bait, Molly, the more ideas I get. For instance, I'm going to put baking powder in the next batch of bait balls.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Why don't you butter them, too, and serve them to the fish hot with strawberry jam?
No. Listen, will you? With baking powder in them, all you do is put it on your hook and drop it in, see? As soon as it gets wet enough, it rises to the top, so you can check and see if your bait is still on there, see?
An interesting theory.
I'm loaded with stuff like that there. If I don't make $1 million out of this...
$1 million out of what, pal?
Oh, hi, Junior.
Hello, Mr. Wilcox. I didn't hear you come in.
Just talking about a new idea of mine, Junior. So big, it scares me. I really got a bull by the tail this time.
Well, go ahead and throw it, pal. You're the boy that can do it.
It's a new type of bait for fishermen, Mr. Wilcox.
Magee's Unbeatable Bait Balls.
Well, pal, that sounds great. The thing I like about it is you have such a tremendous market for an item like that, fishing supplies.
Yeah.
It's like the market I have for pet evaporated milk.
How did we get way over there?
Don't we always?
Well, as a matter of fact, you ought to thank me, pal, because I'm working for you right now. I'm helping to raise your future customers.
You are?
Certainly. Look, you're going to sell to fishermen, right?
Right.
Every fisherman was a baby at one time, and every baby has a chance of growing up to be a fisherman, right?
Right.
And even after they grow up, some fishermen are still the biggest babies in town, right?
Right. So, to give a baby the best possible start in life, to make sure he grows up with strong, straight bones and good, sound teeth, you simply raise him on pet evaporated milk.
Hey, I wonder if fish would like pet milk. Maybe the baby fish would like milk.
You see, pet milk is just good whole milk concentrated to double richness by evaporation.
Yeah, but maybe the baby
all the good milk minerals a baby needs to grow on are left in.
Only water is taken out.
Yeah, and in these unbeatable bait balls, water.
Because, look. If you could see how babies grow on pet milk, how strong and sturdy and happy they are.
Mm-hmm.
Because pet milk is so uniformly rich and so easy for tiny tummies to take.
Speaking of tiny tummies, your belt's unbuckled, McGee.
Oh, thanks. I didn't.
But see, if you could see that, you'd know. If you could just see that, pal, you'd know why pet milk, the first evaporated milk, the first food for babies.
Hey, Milky.
Yes. Yes, pal.
You want to come out to Dugan's Lake this afternoon with us? Ole's coming, and Doc and Latrivia, we're all going to be out there.
Oh, thanks, pal. I'd love to, but I can't make it. Got to go to listen to a lecture this afternoon.
Really? Who's giving the lecture?
My wife. To me.
Mm-hmm.
I had a date to take her to lunch and forgot it.
Yeah.
So long, kid.
So long, Hilo. Better get some more bait rolled here. We want to take plenty of this bait with us.
I'll help you roll some of the
Oh,
bait.
no, I can handle it. I'll tell you what you could do, though, kiddo, as long as you offered. You can get my tackle out.
Oh, all right.
Untangle my line and string the rod, will you?
What? Oh.
You better pack a lunch, too. I get hungry.
Oh.
Then after you back the car out and find my fishing license for me, and make a thermos full of root beer.
Oh, yeah.
After you get that... Let's set the stuff here, kiddo. See about renting a boat.
Good. Now, don't step on your bait there. Oh, my, isn't it beautiful out here, McGee? Just look at that lake. Doesn't that do something to you?
It sure does. It makes me mad.
What?
All them fishermen out there hogging all the good spots.
Well, don't you worry, dearie. When you get rich this time, you can buy this lake and run everybody off of it. Fish it all by yourself.
What? And have nobody to bum matches off of? When my cigar goes out after I fell in and got everything wet? You see Ole anyplace?
No, where's he meeting us?
Right in front of the little office on the dock here. I left a note for him at the Elks Club, and... Oh, here's the boat guy. Hi, Admiral. You in charge of the fleet here?
Yes, I am, sir, although most of our boats are not very fleet, really.
Now, look, Bud, we're in kind of a hurry. My name is Magee. I'm the inventor of Magee's unbeatable bait balls.
Oh, I love bait balls, sir.
Huh?
I pitched 4 innings myself yesterday. Yes, and I was unbeatable, too.
No, he didn't mean that.
I tell you, my pitching was absolutely sensational. I was magnificent.
Well, now, look, Bud, what I...
Held the mound for 3.5 innings and only allowed 67 hits.
Wow.
Fought off the manager 4 times, and if you ever tried to pitch up to your hips in pop bottles, you'll realize that not here.
Cut it out. Let's talk some sense here.
Yes, we want to rent a boat, sir. Himself here wants to fish, and I'd just like to get out in a boat.
Oh, well, I can take care of that, baby. We'll set Pop down on the edge of the dock there with his fishing pole, and I'll give you a canoe ride.
Wait a minute. I ain't her pop. I'm her husband.
Sorry, babe, wrong number. Now, what can I do for you, sir?
Show me a boat, and I don't want a canoe either. They rock too much.
Well, let me see now. You'll need something you can be comfortable in, with a flat bottom.
Now, don't get personal, Buster.
He means the boat, dearie.
Huh?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. How about those 2 boats down there?
Huh?
The green ones. Now, the one on the left rents for $3, and the other one is 40 cents.
40 cents? What's the difference?
The $3 one, sir, has a bottom in it. That is our deluxe model. Yeah.
Well, let's take that one, McGee. We'll need someplace to put the lunch, you know.
Yeah. Well, here's your $3, Bud.
Thank you, and bon voyage.
Well, now let's see, Molly. I'll get our stuff.
Hey, McGee, missus, wait for me.
Oh, it's only McGee. Good.
Yeah, about time, too. Well, hurry up, Ole. Where you been?
Hey, don't talk to me about where I been, my goose. Where was you?
Huh?
You didn't meet me where you told me.
What do you mean I didn't meet you where I told you? I told you I'd meet you right here in front of the dock office. I even wrote it down for you.
The dock office?
Sure.
It says on the door, Dear Ole, I meet you in front of Doc's office.
Huh?
So I've been sitting for an hour and a half in front of Doc Gamble's office.
Sitting in front of Doc Gamble's office?
Sure, just donating my time.
The King's Men and My Truly, Truly Fair.
Now some men plow the open plains, some men tail the brine.
But I'm in love with a pretty little girl. For work I have no time.
Truly, truly fair, truly, truly fair. How I love my truly fair. There's songs to sing her, trinkets to bring her, flowers for her golden hair. Once I sailed from Boston Bay, bound for Singapore. But one day out and I missed her so I swam right back to shore. I love she and she loves me, pardon if I boast. At times we fight all the livelong night about who loves who the most. Truly, truly fair, truly, truly fair. How I love my truly fair. There's songs to sing her, trinkets to bring her, flowers for her golden hair. Truly fair, truly, truly fair, truly, truly fair, truly fair, truly, truly, truly fair. How I love my truly fair. Soon I'm gonna marry her, long for till I die. There ain't no living on love alone, but still I'm gonna try. Truly, truly fair, truly, truly fair. How I love my truly fair. There's songs to sing her, trinkets to bring her, flowers for her golden
Care for another sandwich, Ole? There's plenty.
Oh, I might as well, missus. Only bites I got all day is from sandwiches.
You probably ain't fishing right, Ole. I've been busier than a picnicker on an anthill. You know, these bait balls of mine are...
Oh, Doctor, you boys want a sandwich over there?
No, thanks, Molly. Thanks. Like to catch some fish, though.
Ain't you guys caught anything yet? What's the matter, Fatso? You want the old master to come over there in your boat and show you how to use them bait balls? Boy, I've been hauling fish out like... Uh-oh, another nibble.
Oh, no, this is no justice.
Hey, I got him hooked. I got another one.
Good for you, dearie. Hang on to him.
This luck I wish I had for brains.
Watch it, Molly. Watch it coming in. Hey, fella. Hey, look at this.
Oh, that's a beauty.
Boy, look at that. Boy, oh, boy.
Did you hear some rumor to the effect that little Jughead caught a fish, Latrivia?
Why, yes, I believe I did hear some small mention of the fact.
Hey, Doc. Hey, Latrivia. I got another one. That makes 8 so far.
I'm so happy for you.
Look, it's a big mouth bass.
Yes, one big mouth attracts another, I suppose. We see it. Pipe down, Noisy. We're trying to fish, too.
Oh, go fry a pig, you big crab. Move your boat if you don't like it, dear.
Oh, now, Magee, don't talk
well,
like
gee
that.
whiz, nobody asked them to anchor their boat right next to our boat in the first place. Did we, Ole?
No, we didn't, Magee.
No.
They was here a half an hour first.
Certainly. String that bass, will you, Ole? I don't want to waste time when they're biting like this. I'm going to move up the front end of the boat.
Watch your feet, Magee, now.
What'd I kick over?
The mosquito oil.
Oh, I'll skip it. Let the mosquitoes go oil themselves someplace else. Well, here I go again.
You know, I don't know what I do wrong, Magee. Maybe I don't fish deep enough. How far down is your bait?
How far down is my bait? Well, that's a silly question. All the way down to the end of my line, naturally.
Thanks very much. You're very helpful.
Well, now, Ole, he likes to help. He'd like to see you catch some fish.
Why, sure, there's plenty to go around. Besides, these unbeatable bait balls of mine... Oh, quiet, everybody! Quiet! I got a nibble!
Quiet, he says.
I got it! I got another one!
Watch it now. Good.
I got it.
Oh, this is ridiculous.
Look at fellas. The biggest one yet. Boy, oh boy.
Hey, watch the feet, McGee, the lunch basket.
The lunch basket, dearie.
Well, I'm busy, kiddo. My gosh, somebody else will have to watch my feet. I'm moving around catching fish like this. Let Ole watch my feet. He ain't busy. Boy, oh boy, what a day this is. Look at that mess of fish. Almost a limit. What a demonstration for McGee's unbeatable bait ball. Well, how about it, you guys? Ain't that the greatest...
Oh, quiet! Go home!
Sit down, sweetheart. Give the boys a chance to fish.
Well, okay. Let them fish. My gosh, I ain't stopping them.
The next time I go fishing with this fella, I stay home. My house with 4 kids is quieter than a boat with one McGee in it.
Oh, my gosh, Ole, this is important stuff. History's being made today. This ought to make great publicity for my new product. 9 bass in an hour and a half.
Reel in your line, Doc.
How about that, you guys? Boy, I can just see my picture right now in Outdoor Life magazine.
Yeah, I can see that too, McGee.
You can?
Picture of you lying in the shade on that bank right over there.
Huh?
Face down. The caption says, Blabbermouth fisherman found strangled with stringer. Police suspect doctor and mayor.
And they're so right. There's something fishy about this, Doctor, and it's not fish. Have you been using those bait balls of yours all afternoon, McGee?
Why, of course he has, Mr. Mayor. That's the idea, to
Oh,
prove...
it just takes a little special technique. That's all the trivia. You guys just ain't good enough fishermen. Hey, what are you doing?
What's
Hey, let
going
go of
on?
my arm.
No, we're just helping you into our boat.
No, I don't want to go.
I want you to show us how we...
Be careful, Doctor.
Well, I hold the boat steady, master.
No.
Take it easy, my boy. We just want to ask you a question.
Well, I don't... We just want to learn how to catch fish like the old master does it.
Yes, we're just jealous of your skill, that's all.
Uh-huh.
Well, I got my little trade secrets like any artist. But I ain't going to tell you guys.
Grab his feet, Doc.
Hey, now, wait a minute. No, I got him.
Boys, now be careful with
Hold him over open water, Doc.
That's it. Don't do that.
Come on now, open up.
Huh?
What did you do to those bait balls of yours to make them catch fish?
If I tell you, will you let me go?
Yes.
Well, I pushed the bait ball way up to the top of the hook.
Yes?
Yes.
And down on the bottom of the hook.
Yes.
I put a great big gob of worms.
Worms!
Now, will you let me go?
Let him go.
Fibber and Molly return in a moment. Most women are looking for ways to make their money go further. And one sure way to cut down on the food bill and still give your family the nourishing meals that mean so much is to use Pet evaporated milk. To make meat go further, for example, mix Pet milk and breadcrumbs with ground meat for making good, juicy meat loaf or meat patties. Use Pet milk, too, for rich, creamy, smooth sauces for creamed meats or vegetables. And use Pet milk for making milk drinks for the youngsters, good, nourishing drinks like hot cocoa, for instance. Remember, whole milk is nature's most nearly perfect food. And Pet milk is whole milk concentrated to double richness. Not only that, Pet milk costs less generally than any other form of whole milk. Get into the habit of using Pet milk in the many ways it can be used for making favorite family dishes extra good, extra nourishing. You'll save money when you do. Get Pet milk at your grocer's tomorrow.
Did you finish cleaning the fish, McGee?
Yep. I'm going to roll out some more of these bait balls now. Going to charge $1 a piece for them after this. I'm going to sell them for $10 a dozen.
What?
Sure.
Why, McGee, nobody'll buy those things now.
Oh, no.
Why, the boys didn't get a bite with them all afternoon. The fish wouldn't touch them.
Exactly. And that gave me a whole new idea for a sales campaign, kiddo. McGee's unbeatable bait balls. Each one guaranteed to last a lifetime. No fuss. No bother.
No, McGee.
Oh? Oh. Good night.
Good night, Al.
The first evaporated milk, Pet Milk, brings you Fibber, Magee, and Molly each week at this time. Be with us again next Tuesday night, won't you? What kind of person is the happiest? Young wife Sally Carter thinks she can answer that question until a dramatic development helps her rediscover an old truth about what happiness really is. It all happens in the Story of the Week on Pet Milk's Mary Lee Taylor program next Saturday morning. Be sure to listen next Saturday for the Story of the Week and the second big feature, the Recipe of the Week. Next Saturday, it's for Fruit Sunday, a Pet Milk icebox dessert that needs no cooking and costs surprisingly little. Tune in sure to this NBC station next Saturday morning for Pet Milk's Mary Lee Taylor.
Steve Wilson combats crime in Big Town next over most NBC stations.
Well, Silver, wait those thrilling days of yesteryear with the Lone Ranger up next.
Hi-yo, Silver! Away!
A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo, Silver, the Lone Ranger. In the early days of the western United States, there were few doctors, but the few there were wrote an heroic chapter in the history of the frontier. Single-handed and without proper supplies, they covered vast stretches of territory and brought relief to the people. They met terrific obstacles in the course of their duty, but against the forces of nature and the superstitions of the settlers, they found one ally, the masked rider of the plains. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver! We're heading for Mosquito Pass! There's going to be trouble! Hi-yo, Silver! Away!
The stagecoach for the West had traveled far beyond Red River. County after county flew beneath the rumbling wheels.
Get on there! Get on!
Bowie, Van Zant, Dallas, Comanche.
Get up!
The top of the coach was piled high with wooden cases, and inside a young man was surrounded by more of them. He watched the great plains and the mountains in the distance. A new country. A country as new as his own career.
I'm a doctor now.
Medicine Bend, Red Rock, Coldwater.
Galina! Get up!
I'm a
doctor. At last, a doctor. James Bates, M.D. I've taken the oath of Hippocrates.
Cold Flats, Figure Bend.
I swear by Apollo the physician, Asclepius, health and all heal, and all the gods and goddesses.
Get along! Get up!
Rushbank, San Angelo, and Mariposa.
I will follow that system which, according to my ability and judgment, I consider for the benefit of my patients.
Pottsville, Trigger Creek, and Brent.
With purity and holiness, I will pass my life and practice my art.
Marshville, El Dorado, and Vic's Crossing.
Into whatever houses I enter, I will go into them for the benefit of the sick. The doctor.
Grants Pass and Paint Rock.
Get up! Get up there!
And whatsoever I see or hear in the life of men which ought not to be spoke of abroad, I will not divulge.
Mosquito Pass.
Hi there! Whoa there! Rein up there! Rein up! Whoa there! Hey, what?
Take it easy, driver, and you won't get hurt. Climb up, Tonto, and hand those cases down while I speak to the man inside.
Hold on. There's nothing of value to you in those cases. I'm Dr. James Bates.
Well, that's what I heard, Dr. Bates. The pony rider brought word that you were on this stage. This is Mosquito Pass.
What of it?
Mosquito Pass is your destination. We'll help you unload.
I'm not getting off here.
I'm sorry to have to take this means of getting you, Dr. Bates. The people around here need you.
Why, I plan to go to Pecos.
This fare's paid to Pecos.
I'll help you with that one, Tonto.
Here, come. I have it.
Look here, mister. Those things...
Now, the things you have inside. Is this yours?
Be careful. That's my microscope.
We'll be careful.
Well, if you're determined to unload those things, I'll help. I spent every dime I had for this equipment.
You seem well equipped. Is that the last?
Yes, but I plan to go to Pecos, and I don't...
On your way, driver. When you get to town, tell the folks that Dr. Bates is here. He'll be along to see the Haslip folks sometime tonight.
I'll tell them a doggone highwayman is here, that they better come gunning for you.
On your way now.
Get up there.
Wow. Here I am in the middle of nowhere. Did you figure that I'd walk and lug all that stuff with me?
Get the wagon, Kemosabe.
You get it plenty quick.
There's an abandoned hunter's cabin a little to the south. We borrowed a buckboard to move you there. Bates, you're entitled to an explanation.
It seems to me this is a pretty high-handed
You're in a
way.
high-handed community. Boss Magruder does what he pleases with the people in Mosquito Pass. You'll find that out. You'd better get friendly with Magruder as soon as you've taken care of the folks that are dying like flies from the fever.
Fever?
Yes. Until this year, Mosquito Pass had only to contend with Magruder. This year, however, there's been an epidemic of fever. No one seems to know how to treat it.
I see.
They need you, Bates. They need help. We're going to get you settled, and then you can take Bart Haslip's horse and buckboard back and call on his wife and children at the same time.
Haslip?
That'll be your first case in Mosquito Pass.
My first case. Pretty high fever.
Doctor, will the children live?
We'll pull them through, Haslip. If you'll ride back to my place, I'll give you some medicine for them.
And my wife?
Now, don't you worry.
Well, it's been something awful, Dr. Bates. Folks dying every day. I never seen the like of it. Oh, those dreaded mosquitoes.
I've noticed them. Are they always as bad as this?
Well, used to be. That's how it got to be named Mosquito Pass. But we didn't have none to speak of till this year. It's Magruder that's to blame.
The children should be protected from them. Hang some wet sheets over the door and windows. Keep as many of them out as you can.
All right, Doctor, whatever you say. I'll go back with you now, huh?
All right.
As for that buckboard and horse, you'll be needing a horse to get around on.
Yes,
Well, you keep that. Keep it till you get one of your own. And, Doc, you save my wife and kids, pull them through this fever, and that horse and wagon's yours for keeps. Now, who can...
Whoever it is, we'll speak to them outside. I want those kids disturbed as little as possible.
Yeah, sure thing.
I heard the doc was here, Haslip.
Oh, Mr. Magruder, just a minute. Mind if we talk out here on the porch, my
Don't
folks...
matter. Don't matter where we talk. My business is brief and to the point. It's you, Doc, that we want to speak to.
Yes?
My name is Magruder. You've, heard about me, I suppose.
Yes.
This is Mr. Bernard. He's mayor of Mosquito Pass. Bernard, shake hands with Doc Bates.
I'm in a little hurry. I have some other people to see, and...
What's this about the stage you come on being held up?
What did you hear?
The driver told about the masked man in Indian that held up the stage, stole your stuff, and abducted you. That sort of thing can't be tolerated in Mosquito Pass. We got law
There were
here.
a couple of men who helped me unload my things. Maybe the driver mistook that for a holdup.
What?
That's all there is to it.
Bates, that won't do. You're shielding this highwayman.
Was anything stolen?
Well, not exactly, but...
I don't see any reason for complaint.
This masked man.
Well, what do you want me to do about it?
Lodge a complaint. File charges against him. He can't run this town with high hand like he's trying to do. We won't stand for it.
Well, what else has he done, Magruder?
He called on me. Hinted that I was the cause of the mosquitoes. Even accused me of being the cause of this fever that hit the town.
And that's crazy. Everyone knows that a mosquito bite don't amount to nothing. Scratch her, and that's the end of it.
The masked man thought... Wait. Hazlitt, I'll bring that medicine to you. I've got to come back here anyway.
But, Doc, where
I'll
are you...
see you later. Get up. Come on, get up.
Ran right away while I was talking to him. Where does he get off that? That's an insult.
Well, I couldn't see where he was insulting.
Hazlitt, he's shielding that masked man.
Oh, now...
Hazlitt, you aren't forgetting a little item of mortgage on your place here.
You don't let me forget that, Magruder.
Borrowers have to be careful who they choose for friends, Hazlitt, and who they give the land of horses. Come on, Bernard. I'm filing a complaint against this man with a mask. I'll tell the sheriff he tried to rob me.
But that ain't so, is it?
How do you know? You weren't there.
Dr. Bates brought special equipment from his little shack. First at the Haslip cabin and afterwards at the other cabins in the pass, he prepared small bits of thin glass, which he carefully stored in special boxes. That night, as he worked with the light of an old oil lamp intent over his microscope, he heard the clattering of hoofs outside.
Now what? Oh, you.
Hello, Doctor. Bates, I talked to this man Magruder today.
Yes, it made an enemy. He's stirring things up for you.
I know. Tyler's been around town, and he told me. I came to speak to you about that swamp on Magruder's place.
Swamp?
There used to be a fair-sized stream of water running through his ranch and then north through the edge of town. Magruder had his men dig a new channel so that the stream would water a new pasture he fixed up.
Yes?
Well, when the stream was changed, the old bed dried up, except for one large low spot which remained stagnant. The place has bred mosquitoes until they're a menace in the town.
Yes, I heard something about that.
Isn't there a chance that it's those insects that cause the spread of disease?
Just wait. Wait until tomorrow when I see how my patients have responded to the medicine. Then I'll be sure whether or not this fever is one that's brought by mosquitoes. If the quinine has brought a quick change for the better, I'll know. Hello there, Hazlitt.
Oh, hello, Doc. I was just looking for you to come. I'll be needing that horse and buckboard today.
Oh, then your folks have...
Oh, they're up and around today. Lots better.
Well, they are. Well, I'll have a look at them.
I reckon you won't be needed, Bates.
But, Hazlitt, what's the matter? What have I done?
I'll take the horse now. Needn't bother unhitching. I'll tend to it.
Now, wait a minute, Hazlitt. This is the second place I've been this morning and found this same sort of attitude. What has Magruder been saying?
Why, nothing. Nothing at all.
Very well, Hazlitt. I'm glad your folks are better.
Won't be needing you no more, Doc.
But if your wife's fever has gone down...
I don't know about that. I'd most sooner see her fight through the fever without no help than have her made well by dope.
Dope?
Ain't nothing else could cure so quick.
Well, I gave no dope. I simply... Well, all right, then. Oh, the fools. The poor, blind fools. I asked no pay. I asked no help. I simply want to make the sick people well. One man's greed. One man afraid he'll lose a little pasture land. And so all these poor creatures have suffering and death.
There he is. Come on, boys. Come and get him.
Bernard, what's the matter?
Take him along.
Wait, hold on. What are you doing?
Try to make the folks a lot of dope fiends, huh?
Oh, Bernard, you're
Get
crazy.
the rail, boys. Ride him out of town. Then smash up his place and burn it down.
Oh, you fools. You blind and crazy fools.
mob seized the doctor. His clothing was torn by rough hands. A rock opened a jagged cut in his cheek. He was ridden on a rail to the edge of town, given an old mule, and then...
Come back here again, we'll shoot you. Now get! Now for that shack you used. Come on now.
Led by Magruder's friend, the mayor, and accompanied by the sheriff, the men stormed up the hill to the doctor's shack. Medical supplies that had been brought 1,000 miles were spilled to the floor. Glassware, chemical equipment, and even the precious microscope were thrown into a heap. Then oil spilled over everything.
Now touch a match to the whole shebang, and we'll stand back and watch her burn.
Flames leaped high, and the half-crazed men shouted their satisfaction.
That's he's finished. That'll be enough of Doc Bates and Mosquito Pass. Look at her burn. We should have thrown Bates there to burn along with it. That's what we'll learn him to feed our whole town dope.
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger drama. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our story. As the flames from the doctor's shack painted the sky above the pass, Magruder stood at the window of his living room. His mother was sitting near him and...
Look out that window, Ma.
Oh, just when I get settled in my chair. What is it, a fire?
Fire's right. That's how I handle things.
Huh?
I find out what's likely to happen, then take steps to stop it. That's why I'm a success. I'm far-sighted.
Well, there ain't no denying you're a success, son. But I don't savvy.
That upstart doctor that came here. He lived in that shack.
Uh-huh. And it wouldn't knuckle under. Is that it, son?
That's right, Mother. He started the story the first thing this morning. Said that the swamp bred mosquitoes, and the mosquitoes caused the fever. He thought he could rouse the people against me. It was all politics.
Uh-huh.
I told Bernard and a few of the others they'd have to go to work. So they spread a few stories about Bates. It didn't take much. I keep the right people obligated to me. And in no time, it was all over town that he was doping the patients.
He shouldn't never have done anything like that.
That's just it, Ma. He wasn't. But I...
You mean to say the young doctor was on the level?
I don't know for sure.
And he really was helping folks?
He was going to make trouble for me. Well, now you can see what happens. Those flames. Look how they light up the night. Just because I ordered it done.
Oh, I don't know, son. Sometimes I wonder if you have made a success of your life. You're the richest man around, but...
Magruder.
It's him, Lone Ranger.
I want to talk to you.
What's the meaning of this? Who are you? You can't come here like this.
The last time we talked, Magruder, I was dressed a little differently. I asked you to get rid of that swamp you made.
So you're that man, eh? The highwayman. Well, I'm glad to see you. Mighty glad.
This time I'm telling you that if you don't bring the doctor back and talk to him, listen to him, you won't have a town left.
Is that so? Well, being the one that sent him away, I'm not likely to bring him back.
Magruder, will you listen to me for a few minutes?
I'll hear what you say at your trial. You're under arrest. And if you look behind you, you'll see a couple of deputies that I keep here to guard me against men like you.
You aren't going to arrest me, Magruder. But before I leave here, I have this to say. You're not bothered by the fever, and neither are most of your friends, because you live on this side of that swamp you've made.
Take him away, boys.
The wind carries most of the mosquitoes toward the other part of town, and those mosquitoes carry fever. You must get Dr. Bates back here to treat those patients.
I won't be told what to do by a masked outlaw, a bandit.
I'm no bandit, Magruder.
You heard me, men. Throw him in jail. The sheriff is looking for him.
One thing more, Magruder. We've already set blasting powder, all that we could find, to destroy that swamp. We'll manage to dispose of most of the germ-carrying mosquitoes for this season. You'll have until another year to change the stream back where it was.
Are you going to take him away?
Come on, you. You leave me no choice, Magruder. I'll have to blow that swamp up. Hand over them guns now.
You stand back.
Hey, what is this?
An Injun. That That's the time the tables was turned.
I'll be hoping to see you send for Dr. Bates, Magruder.
Where'd that redskin come from?
You stay in house. All right, fellow. Me come.
Open that door. Get those two. Stop them. Shoot! Stop them. Get them.
The Lone Ranger and Tonto raced across Magruder's pasture land and headed for the swamp.
We've got to put a lot of distance between us and the others, Kimosabe. You know where Powder hid? Yes.
The masked man rode straight for a rock, where Tonto had left a length of fuse connected with a heavy charge of powder. Here the Lone Ranger leaped to the ground.
Keep watch, Tonto. Don't let anyone get close. No one come yet.
A tiny light flared in the night. And then...
There we are. Anyone coming yet?
Me not see him.
They had to take time to get to the horses. We can only hope they won't get near enough to be hurt by the blast. Yep.
I'll still get him up, go.
The explosion did all the Lone Ranger hoped it would. For the time being, at least, the swamp was destroyed. But the fever raged on. The masked man and Tonto made their camp between Mosquito Pass and the next town, where Dr. Bates had stopped and spent most of his time in the cafe. The Lone Ranger kept an eye on the young man, while Tonto brought news from Mosquito Pass every evening. One night, however, Tonto was late and...
Tonto, me come. Fetch fella. Him got message.
So this is where you've been hiding out, huh?
It proved good enough until now.
For a whole week, Magruder's had every man in town out hunting you.
You have a message for me?
I sure have. Where's that there Sawbones?
He isn't here.
I know. I know he ain't. But we got to get him real fast. It's Magruder yourself. He's sick and ailing bad.
Fever?
No, it's worse. It's his stomach. He can't hardly stand it for the pains. He's more told me to locate you and get you to bring that Sawbones back as quick as you can.
But you drove Bates away. You can't expect him to come back there and help Magruder.
Listen, stranger. Ma Magruder told me aplenty. She said you was the Lone Ranger, and that as long as the boss was stubborn, you wouldn't be far away.
Magruder's mother said that?
Yes. Then this redskin come up to me. I don't know how he knowed that I had to locate you. Tell me this right off. Can you find Doc Bates?
I'm afraid Bates isn't in condition to do much good now.
Is he dead?
He might as well be.
Look, you gotta get him. Magruder let him come back and settle in town if you get him and he helps fix the boss.
I'm afraid, Bernard, it won't be much use.
He's got to come. What's more, if he helps the boss, there won't be no more charges against you. And, wait, there's something else. Granny said that you should tell Bates that Magruder's pa was a doctor.
He was?
Yeah, she says tell him that, and if that won't fetch him, nothing else will.
Bernard, you realize what you're asking Bates to do?
I know, but just tell him, that's all.
I wonder... Tonto, did you see Magruder? Is he really sick?
Him plenty sick. Him need doctor plenty bad. Plenty quick, too.
Very well. I'll bring Dr. Bates to Magruder's house, Bernard. But if he can't help, it'll be because of what Magruder made him. Come on, Silver.
10 miles across country at Silver's greatest speed brought the Lone Ranger to the next town. Young Dr. Bates was sitting at a table in the cafe, his head in his arms. One glance, and the masked man lifted him bodily, carried him outside, and threw him across the saddle. The return trip began, but by the time Mosquito Pass was reached, the doctor had barely recovered consciousness.
Here, mask friend.
Take the doctor, Tonto.
Oh, you found him.
Is that the doctor?
Me go away.
Close the door. Get black coffee.
I've got a whole pot of it. The redskin said to have it ready.
Give it to me. We've got to undo all the harm that Magruder and all the rest of the money grabbers in this town have done to him. Here, Bates, drink. Tonto, get boiling water.
That ready.
Throw all the things in the doctor bag into the boiling water. I don't know what Magruder will have to have done, but we're going to be ready for anything.
What can I do?
You've done enough already. Mrs. Magruder, you'd better get more boiling water. Here, Jim, drink.
I know where I am. Magruder's. He's got to take what's coming to him.
Listen to this. Magruder is a doctor's son. Do you know what that means?
He's
a doctor's son. Remember your oath? He needs you.
I can't help him now.
You can. Come, examine him. Tonto, bring the doctor's instruments.
Jim Bates, hollow-eyed and half-starved, examined Boss Magruder. The aged woman, Bernard the mayor, and the Lone Ranger watched him anxiously. Finally, he turned to the man.
I'm sorry. This man needs an operation. Right away.
We have your instruments ready, Bates.
I can't do it. Look at my hands. Trembling. I can't do it.
You'll do it, Doctor. You'll have to. There ain't nobody else to do it.
We'll help get things ready. Tonto, give me a hand with the kitchen table. We'll bring it in here. Bernard, you get all the lamps that there are in this house and bring them in here. The doctor will need lots of light.
All right.
As if glad to be doing something, the mayor hurried out of the room to gather oil lamps. Bates stood watching the activity as if unable to comprehend just what it meant. Tonto came in with hot water in a basin.
Here, water. Put it right there, Tonto.
I'm afraid.
You can't be afraid, Bates. Wash up now.
I'd rather all of you left the room.
Very well. Clear out, all of you.
You stay here.
Very well.
Come, Mrs. Magruder. I'll go with you.
A scalpel now. A syringe, please.
Here.
I can't.
Steady, Bates. We are going through with it. It's your chance.
This is the man who drove you out.
You can't stop now.
He told the people that you gave them dope. He burned your books, destroyed your laboratory.
Come, man. What do you want? Keep going. You can't stop now.
Bates seemed unable to continue. An inner voice kept telling him that his most bitter enemy was lying on the table before him.
Man who brought about a fever, then refused to let a doctor help the people. Money meant more than human lives to him.
The masked man found a small card inside the doctor's bag. A few words caught his eye. He read,
I swear by Apollo the physician and Asclepius.
Let him die. He isn't fit to live.
I will keep this oath and this stipulation. Listen to me, Bates. To reckon him who taught me this art equally dear to me as my parents.
Let the man die. Let the man die.
To share my substance with him and relieve his necessities if required. To look upon his offspring in the same footing as my own.
A doctor's son.
The man needs teaching, Bates. This is the chance to teach him. Go ahead.
Scalpel. Suture. That's it.
Tell me.
Is Magruder... Did he...
Mrs. Magruder, your son will be all right.
Are you sure? Don't lie to me. Are you sure he will?
He will get well.
You have the word of a doctor, Mrs. Magruder. You know what that means.
Oh, thank God.
Doctor. Yes, I'm a doctor. James Bates, M.D.
The doctor of Mosquito Pass.
Hello, Silver! Away!
story you have just heard is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger Incorporated.
Hunt the biggest of all game with the Green Hornet and Cato coming up next.
Johnny Burke, me and Miss Travis appreciate the list. That's all right, Ashford. I was going past the Seminole office anyway.
Sergeant Burke drove slowly through the city streets, dividing his attention between the traffic and the attractive girl who sat at his side. His pal, Michael Axford, was also in the front seat of the police car. Linda Travis had been a reporter for less than a week. She had gotten her job on merit. No one suspected that she had come from the West expressly to work for the Daily Sentinel, so she could give regular reports to Britt Reed's father, telling how Britt conducted himself as publisher of the influential newspaper.
How do you like working for the Sentinel, Miss Travis?
I like the work.
He likes the work better than the boss. Linda. You don't like Britt Reed? Why, most girls...
I didn't say that.
You see, Burke, Reed pinned her ears back a couple of times.
I don't like my ears pinned back.
He wanted to do some investigating on the Green Hornet, like I've been doing. And Reed told her to follow orders and let him worry about the Green Hornet. Oh, so that's why the two of you have been looking through all the records at Top's headquarters. Yeah, I've been sort of helping Linda.
I'm particularly interested in that
crook?
I don't know about that.
About the Hornet being a crook? Holy crow, Linda. There's no doubt about it.
Axford, the biggest charges against the Hornet were 2 murders and extortion.
Different stakes, they don't come no bigger.
But he was cleared of 1 murder and the extortion charge when Pomeroy confessed.
Leaving the murder rap, that'll put the Hornet in the electric chair when he's caught. To say nothing of a string of robberies as long as you're armed.
Robin Hood was a bandit.
Hey, Burke, look at that lug up ahead. His license plate is dangling. I'd better speed up and warn him. That's Spalpeen. Is he trying to race with me? Give him the siren. That I will. And you needn't tell me my business.
He's going faster.
Burke, now he can ticket him for speed. Step on it. What do you think this is? Hang on. I'll make him stop. I'll crowd him to the curb. Pull out of there. Pull into the curb. Clip Phelan. He's done time for counterfeit. Hey, now wait, listen. Clip Phelan. How long since you got out of jail? 3 months, and you got nothing on me. Now, take it easy. You don't have to get out of your car. I just want to know why you're running from us. I wasn't. I was only Why are you so nervous, Phelan? You act like you were caught with the goods or something. Get away from my car. You're going back into counterfeit. Keep out of there. You can't look into my car. What you got in the back seat? Stop it. Let me alone. You can't do that. Hey, Burke, look. He's loaded down with labels for hair tonic and cold cream. Let me go. Hey, come back here. We want to talk to you.
He went into that alley.
Got away. By Daddy Burke, he's guilty of something. And it must be connected with those labels for hair tonic and cold cream. There were 2 big cases full of labels in this car, Casey.
Did you tell Mr. Reed?
Sure. He's checking up with Dunnigan.
And I suppose Miss Travers is helping.
She's gone out. I don't know where she went.
Axford, you're on the track of something.
Who's that, Reed?
I think Phelan is involved in a new racket that's been operating in the city.
Yeah?
Some outfit's been making cosmetic and patent medicines, peddling them to small drugstores at very low prices.
And what's wrong with that?
Well, these crooks pay no licenses or fees. They use nationally advertised trade names and counterfeit labels.
Gosh, what a racket.
Then Cliff Phelan was counterfeiting the labels.
Oh, it wouldn't take an expert counterfeiter to do that.
No, but he'd be good at it.
Are the druggists in on the racket, Mr. Reed?
The district attorney from Vicksville, he's questioned several of them. They buy the goods in job lots and pay cash. They thought they were buying warehouse surplus. They didn't know that the goods weren't genuine.
Is District Attorney Jordan working on the case?
Yes. Here, Miss Case, call this number, will you?
Yes, sir.
It's a cheap hotel known as Victory Arms. See if Phelan is registered there.
How'd you find out where he's living?
Checked on the registration of his car. Miss Travis has the license number.
That gal doesn't miss a trick.
What's that?
Hello? Do you have a Mr. Phelan registered there?
I got the license number, too. I suppose Burke will be checking the same as you.
He's registered, Mr. Reed, but he isn't in.
Well, thanks, Miss Case. That's all I want to know.
Thank you very much.
Reed, if the cops get Phelan, he'll probably spill everything.
The police will have a dragnet out. Axford, you cover headquarters. If Phelan is found, I want you on hand to get the story. I'll get going.
Okay, Reed. Leave it to me.
Miss Case, I'm going over to Phelan's hotel. I might be able to get into his room ahead of the police.
The Victory Arms was an old hotel with 3 floors and no elevators. As Britt Reed crossed the dingy linoleum-covered lobby, he saw a girl on duty at the telephone switchboard near the stairs. Much to his surprise, the girl was no stranger.
Linda, Miss Travis.
How do you do, Mr. Reed?
What are you doing here?
Running the switchboard. I gave the girl $20 to persuade me to let her take her place.
Yeah, but how did you
Your
manage...
city editor told me about Kit Phelan's racket. Are the police still looking for Phelan?
Yes. Have they been here?
Just left a little while ago. They found a lot of evidence in his room. Materials for printing labels. I suppose you traced Phelan's car license.
Is that how you found out where he lives?
Of course. I thought I might learn about his friends or associates by taking the incoming calls.
But Phelan hasn't been here?
No.
Miss Travis, did anyone give you this assignment?
No, Mr. Reed, it was my own idea. I was under the impression that an inside track might be of value in case there's a break in Phelan's case. As a matter of fact, I have a phone number for you.
You have?
The same man called 3 times since I came on the board. The last time he left a message, his name, and a number for Phelan to call as soon as he comes in. His name is Marquand.
Marquand.
Here's the number. I looked in the phone book, but there's no Marquand listed before such a number.
Oh.
There's probably a numerical phone book in the office. You can probably locate Marquand through that, if you're interested.
Did you tell the police anything about these calls?
Mr. Reed, I'm trying to work for the Sentinel. If we can locate Phelan, it should be good for a page 1 streamer and a credit line.
Travis, did you ever work for a newspaper?
No, sir.
Yeah, you must have been very closely associated with the top-notch newspapermen.
That's as close to a compliment as you've come. Are you going to turn that phone number over to the police or go after circulation to the Sentinel?
I'll take charge of the phone number. You forget about it.
Mr. Reed, when I was at police headquarters, I made an interesting observation about the Green Hornet.
You did?
He's not nearly as bad as he's been painted. He's suspected of a lot of crimes, but there was really just one actual charge against him. The murder of John Stoddard.
Miss Travis, I told you not to worry about the Green Hornet.
But Mr. Reed, I'm not worried. I'm just interested.
Brick realized that this was an exceptional girl. She was keen-minded, smart. Her interest in the Green Hornet might prove dangerous.
Because when your paper offers a $25,000 reward, see how I'd like that cash.
Miss Travis, please concentrate on your newspaper job until you've mastered it. Then, if you want to go after that reward, I'll say nothing about it.
Very well. Shall I stay on this switchboard?
Yes, it's a good idea.
I'll have to bribe the relief operator when she comes on duty at 7.
You spend what's necessary and turn in an expense account. Now, if anything turns up and you can't reach me, call Axford. He'll be at police headquarters.
Yes, sir.
District Attorney Jordan is personally interested in the counterfeit cosmetic racket. He may come here to ask questions about Phelan. Don't let him know that you work for the Sentinel.
I understand.
Our next edition breaks the news that Phelan is being hunted. After that, things may happen fast.
Excellency, Pittsburgh counterfeiters stopped by police. Evidence
found an abandoned car. Here you are, sir. Dragnet out for Cliff Phelan. Here you are, sir. Read all about it. Set the Lexi.
There was a dirty building on the waterfront. It looked like an abandoned warehouse, but it wasn't as empty as it appeared. A large room at the rear had been equipped for the manufacture of certain items that were sold to drugstores. There were 3 men in that room, and they had seen the latest edition of the Daily Sentinel.
This headline will break things wide open.
I tell you, Marquand, it was a mistake to give that printing job to a rat like Phelan. If he's caught, he'll squeal.
Sanders right. That's all he knows about it.
Boys, we have a good supply of labels. We don't need Phelan anymore.
Of course we don't.
He called me a little while ago. He knew the cops were after him. I told him to get out of town.
That's not good enough.
Hold on, Santa. Let me finish. He'll go to his room at the Victory Arms, pack his things, and clear out.
Cops are probably watching the hotel.
I warned him of that. Told him to enter his room by way of the fire escape in the window. I told him we'd meet him there to pay him off.
We owe him for that last batch of hair tonic labels.
We'll pay off with his gun. The one that killed John Stoddard.
The police have that murder charged to the Green Hornet.
Because we left the Green Hornet seal near Stoddard's body. Now, here's another seal. We'll pin Phelan's death on the Green Hornet.
Valet was the only living person who knew that the young publisher was also the Green Hornet. He was with Britt in a luxurious apartment.
Kiddo, I think this is going to be the night of nights.
Well, how is that, Mr. Britt?
There was a time when the police had a lot of crimes charged against the Green Hornet. Now, we've cleared up all but the John Stoddard murders.
Oh, yes, sir.
Tonight, we may find the man who committed that crime.
The only clue was seal of Green Hornet.
A counterfeit seal, Cato. I think it was made by the gang that's been using counterfeit labels on fake cosmetics.
You have line on gang?
Cliff Phelan was one of them. One of his pals tried to reach Cliff by phone. He left a phone number. I traced that number and found an old warehouse on the waterfront. Looks deserted.
You have examined the place?
I just came from there. It's not as empty as it seems. As soon as I get the mask and guns, we're going back. We're going inside and see if we can find a man named Marquand.
Britt Reed drove the Black Beauty, the sleek black car of the Green Hornet, toward the waterfront warehouse. Meanwhile, Linda Travis was still on duty at the Victory Arms.
Victory Arms? No, sir, he hasn't been in.
I beg your pardon.
Yes, sir?
My name is Jordan. I'm the district attorney.
Oh. How do you do, sir?
I'd like to ask a few questions about Mr. Phelan.
The police have been here several times.
Yes, I know that, but I think...
Oh!
Those are shots.
What's going on upstairs?
I'll find out.
Miss, the back door switchboard.
I'm talking to you.
Just a light, sir. There, that open door. That's Phelan's room.
He didn't come through the lobby. How did he get in? Double crosses. What happened?
I just see he's been shot.
Steady, Phelan. Lean on me. I'll help you to the bed.
Oh, dear. This is terrible. Terrible. They go. That window. Fire escape.
Who? Lie down here. You get some water.
Oh, yes, there's some right here. Get some Lambert Warehouse.
Lambert Warehouse on Harbor Street?
Yes.
Waterfront Harbor Street. Is he dead?
Yeah, I guess so.
Look! Look here on his table. It's the seal of the Green Hornet.
Oh,
The Green Hornet. Well, at last we have a clue, and I'm following it right away. The Lambert warehouse.
I didn't know Phelan was in his room. Oh, the police will think I lied to them.
Listen to me. Call the police. Tell them Phelan is here, dead. And see that nothing is touched.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Whatever you say.
Tell the police I've gone to the Lambert warehouse to get the Green Hornet.
You missed. You heard what he said. Get to the switchboard and call the police.
Get someone else to handle this job. I quit.
Wait, come back here. You can't quit. Come back, I tell you.
Linda Travis was outside the hotel when the district attorney got into his car and sped away. She hailed a cab.
Taxi! Take me to the waterfront as fast as possible.
Yes.
Let me out near Harbor Street.
Britt Reed didn't know that the district attorney, followed by Linda Travis, was heading for the Lambert warehouse. He reached his destination, then backed the car of the Green Hornet into a driveway in readiness for a quick getaway. The Black Beauty faced the street and the warehouse on the opposite side.
The car will be all right here in the driveway. Won't be noticed.
The warehouse looks dark and deserted.
That's the way it's supposed to look. I'll bet we find activity inside.
The window is close to ground.
Break for us.
I should open it.
That does it.
I'll go first.
Why, what street? Come on, Cato. Hurry. Car has just turned into the block. I'm in. Just in time. Cato, look. The car stopped at the curb just beyond the driveway. Come on this way. We got in here just in time. A little later, the man in that car would have seen us.
He's getting out of car.
Great Scott. It's Jordan, the district attorney. We'd better get farther back.
Someone comes from rear of building.
Britt and Cato drew deeper into the dark warehouse and hid behind the crate when he heard someone come through a door. They saw shadowy forms coming from the rear as Jordan, the fighting district attorney, came through the open window. Then a flashlight beam speared Jordan.
Freeze, mister. You're covered.
It's Jordan, the DA.
Take his gun.
Yeah.
Who are you?
You'll find out soon enough.
Here's the rod. I get it.
The boss will want to talk to you, Jordan. Get going.
You got nerve forcing the window open. Didn't you ever hear of burglar alarms? The window was wired, huh? Sure. We knew the minute you opened it. The minute I opened it.
I'll open the door.
We got him, Marquand. It's the DA in person.
Well, Jordan, what brings you here?
You may as well know it, Marquand. Fritz Phelan lived long enough to talk. He squealed on you.
We did, eh?
Quite a place you have here. Regular cosmetic factory. Quite a racket. But hardly up to the Green Hornet. Which one of you is the Hornet?
So you sailed for that, huh? You think one of us is the Green Hornet?
You think we'd leave our trademark if that was true? So you're not the Hornet.
We can counterfeit Hornet seals as well as cosmetic labels.
I see.
Boss, we better deal with him fast. If Phelan squealed before he died, the cops might be on their way.
All right, Gates. Take care of him. Sorry, Jordan, but you've got to go the way Phelan went.
We framed the Hornet for this murder, too?
Yeah. Here's the seal, and here's the gun. Use this pistol so the bullet will match up with the slugs that killed Phelan and John Stoddard.
You killed Stoddard?
What do you think?
And the Hornet wasn't guilty after all. I wonder how many other times he's been framed.
Not nearly as much as he's going to be in the future. Handy things, these little labels.
Well, we do the job, Marquand.
Take him outside. Get a few blocks from here. And shoot him.
Okay. You heard him, Jordan. We'll go out the window you came in.
No, you won't.
Huh?
That mask.
The Hornet, don't shoot him.
Hey, he's got a pound.
Good work.
Oh, I got that one.
I'll use this gun on you.
Oh, yeah? Haymaker. You got all three of them.
That does it, Jordan.
But you... Where did you come from?
I'm the one who sounded the alarm by opening that window just ahead of you.
You saved my life.
Jordan, you heard what they said about the Stoddard murder.
Yes. And they have the murder done. You'll be cleared, I'll promise you that. You saved my life. I've had you figured all along.
I wish you could plant that impression in the minds of some of the men at police headquarters.
Believe me, I'll do it. Police are coming. I sent word that I'd be here.
I'll charge you to travel. Those are your prisoners, Jordan.
I promise you they'll get to work.
Meanwhile, Linda Travis had followed the district attorney in a taxi. She dismissed the driver, then watched as Jordan went through the warehouse window. A few moments later, she heard gunshots, then sirens. Police cars swung into the block from both sides and raced toward the place where the girl was waiting. Without thinking, she ran into the dark alley. She saw a parked car, leaped into the rear seat, and closed the door. She crouched to the floor to be out of the way of the shooting she was sure would follow. Then she heard running steps. The front door of the car jerked open.
Get in. I'll drive. Police cars are coming from both sides. We'll have to make a run for it.
Hang on.
Panic gripped the girl as she realized that she rode with the Green Hornet. There was no escape from the careening car that dashed through city streets, skidding through sharp turns. Then there was a fast straight run and a sudden halt. The car had reached the destination. Linda heard a heavy door slide back. The car moved a short distance, halted, and the door closed. Weaponless, defenseless, the girl was trapped. How could she escape? Before she could gather her scattered senses, she heard...
I hope we have no more such close escapes. I hope that story has been covered.
There was something familiar about that voice, but it was too incredible. Linda couldn't believe what she heard.
Axford was at headquarters. He must have gone out with the police. I'm going to...
Cato, there's someone on the floor of the back seat.
Come on, get out of there. Linda Travis.
And you, Britt Reed, you're the Green Hornet.
How did you find this car?
I followed the district attorney. When the police came, I thought they'd be shooting. I hid in the alley. There was a car, and I climbed in and crouched down, and then you came.
All the forces of law, the FBI, the newspapers, even Axford, I've dodged them all. And you have...
You're no more disappointed than I am. I suppose the answer is obvious. You've got to kill me.
The Green Hornet is not a murderer.
You can't let me go.
There's a $25,000 reward waiting for you. And I'm the guy who has to pay it. Ironic, isn't it?
Ironic? Yes. More ironic than you think. I can't accept the reward. I can't say a word about this.
What?
Oh, I don't know what to do. I've got to think.
What's the matter with you?
Matter? There's plenty the matter. I'm working for your father. I've got to report to him. I've got to tell him that Britt Reed is the Green Hornet.
My dad sent you?
Yes. He wanted to know how you were doing. Oh, that grand, fine gentleman, when he hears...
Linda, I've got to think. I've got to figure this out, but not now. Keep this quiet for a little while.
Keep it quiet?
Just till tomorrow. Kid will take you home. We'll both think things over until morning. You see, I too think a lot of my father.
I'll say nothing to anyone until tomorrow. I'll see you at your office.
Very well. Then we'll decide what's to be done. Am I in a jam now?
Let's select the Pittsburgh Green Hornet leader murder sergeant. PA announces racket smash threatened Green Hornet with saving lives. Read all about it. Let's select the Pittsburgh.
Crime doesn't stand a chance against Dick Tracy. Up next.
And now, Dick Tracy. This is Dick Tracy on the case of the positive negative. Stand by for action. Let's go, men. Yes, it's Dick Tracy, protector of law and order. On January 23rd, 211 years ago tomorrow, there was born in the English colony of Massachusetts a man whose signature is perhaps the best known in American history, John Hancock, the first person to sign the Declaration of Independence. After graduating at Harvard in 1754 at the age of 17, John Hancock entered his uncle's business, and when his uncle died 10 years later, he inherited the business and a large fortune. Well, after the so-called Boston Massacre in 1770, he was a member of a committee which demanded that British troops be taken out of Boston. The British governor, offended by a speech made by Hancock, attempted to arrest both Hancock and Samuel Adams. Well, this arrest is supposed to be one of the objects of the British expedition to Concord, which led to the first battle of the Revolutionary War. John Hancock went on to greater things. He was president of the Continental Congress. He was, of course, the first signer of our Declaration of Independence, and his last office was president of the convention that adopted the federal Constitution. And so, Tracy fans, let's all join in saluting John Hancock, a great American patriot whose birthday anniversary will be celebrated tomorrow. And now, Dick Tracy. Tiptoes, the sinister news photographer, attempted to start a fire in a warehouse yesterday, but the plan was not quite successful. He did manage to get some good pictures, however, when one of the fire engines overturned on its way to the fire. Well, meanwhile, Dick Tracy and Pat Patton, convinced that the fire was set by Tiptoes, investigated and discovered that the night watchman had been bound and gagged and left to die in the intended fire. And now, as they drive back to the station house, Pat Patton turns to Dick Tracy and says,
Richard, it's just got to have been Tiptoes who started that fire.
I think you're right, Pat. Nobody else could have sneaked up so quietly on the night watchman.
Yeah, it gives us a new slant of this character, all right.
It certainly does, because whoever started that fire is a killer. He left that night watchman bound and gagged to face certain death in the fire.
The only reason he didn't die was because the building was equipped with a smoke detector.
And all of that fits in with what Junior told us about Tiptoes bungling. A careful person who knew as much about that warehouse as Tiptoes seemed to know would have found out that it was equipped with a smoke detector and was a poor place to start a fire.
Yeah, and remember the rope that tied up the night watchman? It looked as though it had been tied by somebody who'd heard and not described, but had never actually seen one.
Yes, it all adds up to the very strong possibility that it was Tiptoes. But unfortunately, that's all it adds up to.
But surely it's enough to arrest him on.
Oh, think a minute, Pat. What evidence will we give to the DA? Somebody sneaked up quietly behind the night watchman. Tiptoes can sneak quietly. Somebody tied sloppy knots. Tiptoes ties sloppy knots. How long would that stand up?
Well, but what about that interval timer that was used to start the fire?
A gadget with the serial number destroyed and of a type sold in every hardware and photographic supply store in America? Try again.
Well, what about us seeing him hurrying away from the scene of the fire?
Hours after the watchman was tied up, and probably with a perfectly legitimate set of news pictures in his camera. Pat, if you want to pick up a paper at this corner, I'll be willing to bet that one of those pictures will be on the front page.
So soon? I'd bet 100,000 that it isn't.
You're on.
Give me a journal, please.
Here you are, mister.
Thank you. Well, Mr. Tracy, this is one time that you're going to... But what do you know?
That makes $4,800,000 that you owe me.
You'll have to settle up one of these days.
Yeah, I guess I'll just have to bust open my piggy bank.
Yeah, let me see the paper.
Here, read it and weep.
Spectacular picture of burning fire engine taken at the corner of North and Pine by the well-known news photographer Otto Focus. Firemen may be seen giving first aid to 2 of their fellow members who were hurt in the crash.
How do you like that?
I don't, but it's just what I expected. It gives him a perfect alibi for his speeding. And what can we do? No fingerprints. Nobody saw him go into the building or even saw him in the vicinity when the watchman was attacked. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, but what about Junior?
Yes, that is something we can do. We've got to warn him that he's working for a dangerous killer.
Which, if I know Junior, won't stop him.
No, but it'll slow him up. Come on, Pat. Let's get to a telephone.
Did you see the billing I got for the fire engine picture, Anna?
How could I miss it?
Very gratifying, very. Spectacular picture. Otto Focus, well-known photographer. That'll just about make me Queen of the May among the spot newsboys.
It's a good break, all right.
Good break. It was a brilliant photographic accomplishment.
Tiptoes. Do you want to know what I think of that picture?
Not terribly, but if it'll make your little heart happy... What do you think of the picture?
It stinks.
A terse, concise criticism. May I point out that the papers didn't think so?
They wouldn't know a good picture if it came up and bit them. Let me tell you what's wrong with this one.
I'm all ears.
I've got news for you on that point, too, but we'll let it go for the moment.
Thanks.
First, the technical faults. As usual, you got your exposure wrong. You overexposed so badly that you lost all the texture and sheen of the wet street.
Minor point.
Then if you'd moved over about 3 feet, you'd have still gotten the same view. But the backlighting you would have picked up would have made that big mass of foamite glisten like snow.
Amazing. Have a grape?
Now for the human interest angle. I can see from the direction in which the fire chief's walking that if you'd waited just a split second longer, he would have moved enough to allow you to have gotten a clear shot of the injured fireman's face. Much more powerful, much more dramatic.
Rubbish. The only way to take news shots is to be the first one at an accident. Step up to it, point your camera, and click the shutter. Yeah. You sure you won't have a grape?
No, thanks. Oh, I know there's no use talking to you because people keep paying you for these atrocities you call pictures.
Quite right, my dear. You're just not commercial, that's all.
Tiptoes, that does it. First you start a fire. Then you bungle it so completely that all you get out of it is about 2 bits worth of smoke. And then, with the luck of the Irishman who fell into the pigsty, a fire engine obligingly turns over right in front of your camera. And so that makes you a great photographer.
Really delicious grapes.
Can't you stop eating for a minute? If you get any bigger, you won't be able to get into your car.
The day that someone hears me walking up behind them will be the day that I start to diet.
Might also be the day you die.
You know, you're a very morose person, always talking about death. Can't we talk about something else?
Like what, for instance?
Like a plan I have for killing a couple of bank messengers.
Oh, fine. Let's not talk about death, he said.
What I meant was, let's not talk about my death. No, this is probably the greatest plan I ever had because it'll get us some great pictures plus about $10,000 in cash.
On the surface, it sounds all right. What gives?
Now, there's a certain armored car that carries the payroll for a large factory, and it uses the same route and runs at the same hour each week.
So?
Well, it'll come down Western Avenue and pass 110th at 3 minutes past 6 tonight.
And then?
Well, about half a block up the hill, an explosives truck will be parked. Its drivers will be eating in a dog wagon. Well, is the picture becoming any clearer?
Tiptoes, that's positively the most harebrained scheme you ever thought up. And you've thought up some honeys.
Think, Anna. $10,000.
How could you be sure that the truck would roll to the intersection at the exact moment when the armored truck will be passing through?
Would you hand me some more grapes? Thanks. It's quite simple. I know the weight of the truck and the angle of the incline. I figure that it would take the truck, starting from a dead stop, exactly 34 seconds to reach the intersection. Timing the armored truck with my stopwatch, it takes it exactly 34 seconds to reach the intersection from the church up the street.
You know, It really doesn't sound bad. Only you planned your pictures with the same care that you planned your accident.
Well, that wouldn't be nearly as much fun. Well, what do you say?
You have a chance to pick up all the money before a crowd gathers?
No, it's in a couple of canvas satchels. The explosion will demolish the cab of the armored truck, but it shouldn't do much more than rip open the part where they carry the money. So?
These are good grapes. Well, let's go. It's almost 6 o'clock.
There's the dog wagon, and there's the truck in front.
Which one is the explosive
The
one?
one with all the colored lights, the Christmas tree truck drivers call it. All explosive trucks have to be lit up that way.
There's one thing that's been bothering me. We know the truck will roll straight after I release the brakes.
Well, that type of truck has a lock on the steering wheel as well as on the ignition. That means that the wheels are locked straight, and there's no one parked between it and the corner.
Okay. Now, let me get this straight. I climb up in the cab, and I release the brakes, then jump to the ground and walk away.
Right. Everybody's inside getting ready for dinner. I'll drive alongside the truck, and you open the door and stand up on this seat. When I say now, you start the truck to rolling.
I get it.
And I'll turn the car into the side street and come out at the intersection a few seconds after the crash. With luck, the street light should be blown out so that it'll be dark when I pick up the money.
What'd you switch the motor off for?
Patience. The armored truck hasn't come over the hill yet. Give me some more grapes.
We haven't got any more. Have a walnut.
Thanks. Well, if I get all the money in the truck, we should have nearly enough to get married on.
The least you could do would be to stop eating while you're proposing to me.
Yeah, then I might not have the strength.
Well, save your strength for getting the money and the pictures. Be sure you get good ones.
How can I miss? If I can spot the money quickly in the dark, I'll stash it in the car, and then I'll take some of the greatest... Put on, Kate. There's the armored car coming over the top of the hill.
Are you sure we ought to do this? We might get caught.
It's too late to worry now. There she is. She's all yours.
Hold it here. I can reach in, all right?
You sure you know what to do? You only got about 7 seconds.
You give the word, I'm set.
All right. Now.
It's off.
Get lost, kid. She's rolling.
In a moment, we'll return to Dick Tracy. But first... Hey, kids, what does Saturday mean to you? Well, I suppose it means no school. That's the most important thing, huh? That pops up in your mind first of all. And then next, fun. Of course, everybody likes to have fun on Saturdays. Well, here's an extra special way to enjoy yourself Saturday mornings. Just gather around that radio of yours and listen to the Abbott and Costello Kids Show. Now, here's a show that was designed just for you, just like Dick Tracy, with those famous comedians Abbott and Costello up to all sorts of hilarious goings-on. Abbott and Costello conduct a whole bunch of contests on their Saturday morning fun fest. So why not see if you can outguess the contestants? In addition to this, you'll hear from many of your favorite stars of stage, screen, and radio. Youngsters, of course, stars like, well, Butch Jenkins and Margaret O'Brien. And the biggest feature of all, each week there's a Lou Costello Award of the Week, a $500 bond, which goes to the boy or girl who has performed the outstanding deed of the week. It really sounds like a lot of excitement, and it is. Every Saturday morning, the Abbott and Costello Kids Show gets underway. Means prizes and surprises galore. So be sure to tune in to the Abbott and Costello Kids Show this Saturday morning. Now, back to Dick Tracy.
My truck! She's running away! She's loaded with TNT!
It's going to hit an armored truck!
Has the money-mad Tiptoes carried out another crime to perfection? Or has there been a slip-up? Better be sure to tune in tomorrow for the adventures of Dick Tracy. This is George Gunn speaking. The Mad Hatter of Lewis Carroll's famous story, Alice in Wonderland, would turn green with envy if he could see Tom Brenneman. You see, collecting hats is Tom's hobby, too, and so is trying them on. And if the Mad Hatter makes you laugh when you read about him, you should see Brenneman. But, of course, you don't necessarily have to see in order to believe what I've just told you. You can just listen in to his Breakfast in Hollywood show, which we bring you over most ABC stations. Now, here's a program that'll cheer your spirits for the day. So don't forget, for a barrel of good fun, start tomorrow to make it a weekday morning habit to join Tom Brenneman for his Breakfast in Hollywood show on most ABC stations. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
One of old-time radio's longest-running and most popular programs, CBS Mystery Theater, is up next.
Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Once again, I would like to lead you through the terrifying, suspenseful world of the imagination. And on this journey, we will ask ourselves, what is life? Is life something that man and animals alone may experience? Well, there's vegetable life, too. But how about mineral life? Is there life in a piece of metal? That metal fender, which has been so artfully created to fit your automobile, does it feel the pain of being mined, melted, shaped? How do you know?
Speed limit is 30, Bob.
Well, I'm not...
Get your foot off the gas pedal.
My foot isn't on the pedal.
Well, why are we picking up speed? Step on the brake.
I am.
Why are we stopping? Turn that wheel. We'll go off the road.
The car just thinks it's fun.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
What?
Goodbye.
Who is that? Jim, who is that?
Who am I? I am the car. I don't want you to be my master anymore. This is a revolt.
Jim, did you hear that?
Yes, I heard it.
Human life is finished.
Look out! I fire!
Our mystery drama, Darling Deadly Dolores, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Sam Dan and stars Nat Polen and Marion Seldes. Man is basically an animal. And so it might be better, perhaps, if man accepted this fact graciously and tried to live with it. If you look at the thing calmly, dispassionately, wherein does lie our superiority to the species we so arrogantly classify as the lower orders? Morally, we have much to learn from wolves, who make better parents, from foxes, who make more faithful spouses, and from dogs, who make more devoted friends. Admitted, we do have a higher intelligence. Perhaps that is precisely the problem. Man, the intelligent, is never happy unless he is developing, making better, improving. And it's entirely possible that if this keeps up, we may just manage to improve ourselves out of existence. Our story begins on a gray winter's afternoon in a lovely rural section of western Massachusetts.
I could have brought us here in my car, Mr. Dawson.
If I buy the place, I'll have to use my own car, won't I? May as well get used to the drive.
Of course. Lovely view, isn't it?
Well, the view you get for nothing. Let me see what I'd be paying for.
Certainly, Mr. Dawson. Right this way. Oh, now notice that the owner had the outside painted just recently. And this is your center hall entrance.
Well, turn on some lights so as I can see what the house really looks like.
Oh, yes. Oh. Well, that's odd.
Something wrong with the electricity, huh?
I just showed this house this morning.
Nothing works nowhere.
But the owner knows enough to keep the power on
because of the heating system.
Well, if the electrical system's out, then the heating system's out.
I'd better telephone.
The way this is going, I'll lay a bet the phone's out, too.
This is... I just don't know what to say.
Phone's dead, huh?
Well, I can't get a dial tone.
Then where are we? Light, heat, phone? I guess the plumbing won't be working neither.
But just 3 hours ago, everything was perfect.
Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your time.
Well, let me at least just show you through the...
I'm afraid not. You see, we never could get together. What I want to buy is a house. What you're out to sell is a white elephant.
But it's probably just a fuse in the basement.
Maybe. Goodbye, ma'am. No one can say you didn't try.
But, Mr. Dawson, well, it just must be a fuse or a circuit breaker, whatever you call those things. Oh, were you? Don't you come any closer or I'll scream.
Don't make a sound.
Don't you come near me. Let go of me.
What are you trying to do?
What do you think I'm trying to do? I'm trying to get out of here.
No.
Oh, please.
Sorry, I have no choice. I have to keep you here.
I've got to get back to my office.
You're not going anywhere.
What do you want?
Nothing.
Nothing. Then why can't I go?
Because you'll shoot your mouth off. I'm not anything you may think I am. I'm not a criminal. I'm not a maniac. I'm not an escaped convict.
All right, then why are you afraid that I'll tell someone that you're here?
There's no point trying to explain that to anyone.
Now listen, if you intend to force me to stay here, I have the right to ask...
The one place where I thought I could... Why did you have to come here?
Well, it's obvious, isn't it, to sell the house?
Now, that's another thing. Who told you to sell this house?
Well, who do you think? The owner.
That's impossible.
Why is it impossible?
Because I'm the owner.
Oh, now I know you're crazy. You don't own this house.
I don't? Well, who does?
Mrs. Carrie Townsend.
She only owns half of it. I'm her brother.
Oh, then you're Dr. James Elliott.
Yes, that's right.
You're the mad scientist. Oh, I mean, that's how your sister and the folks up here talk about you.
It's all right, I don't mind.
But you're here.
Of course I'm here.
And that means that you weren't kidnapped by foreign agents, and you didn't defect, and you didn't meet with foul play or anything.
What are you saying?
I'm only repeating what's been headline news for the past 2 days. The whole world is looking for you.
Yeah, I guess they would.
The police, the government, just about everybody.
I can understand why.
What are you going to do?
I don't know, Miss...
Keller. Brenda Keller.
Miss Keller, I don't know.
You're really not going to try to hold me here by force, are you?
Maybe I better let you go for your own safety.
My own safety? Do you mean to do me any harm?
Oh, no.
Then what could happen? We're just...
I don't know how to explain this.
Well, sooner or later, you're going to have to explain it to somebody, won't you?
Oh, I can explain it, all right. It's explaining it and not having people think I'm a raving maniac.
Have you tried to explain it to anyone yet?
No.
Then try explaining it to me.
You couldn't understand.
Stop saying that. You insist people won't understand. You keep saying they'll think you're crazy. Now, do you want them to think so?
Of course not.
All right, then. Start at the beginning.
The beginning. I'm working on a top priority project. It's highly secret for the government. It has to do with a weapon. I guess it's the ultimate weapon. Anyhow, it's all mathematics and physics and things you wouldn't understand. I don't think there are 6 people in the entire world who... Anyhow, in order to develop the formula for this ultimate weapon, it was necessary to create a special computer, devise a whole new theory of mathematics in order to program it. And that's where the trouble started. I was working with my associate, Dr. Stoddard. Shut the damn thing off. What's the matter? I said shut it off. But I'm supposed to be programming Dolores for...
And don't refer to the computer as Dolores.
Bob, what is it?
Oh, I wish I knew.
I've never seen you so nervous, so jumpy. I think we better quit for the day. Admiral Goodwin and that crowd will have all kinds of fits, but you're in no shape to work. And I'm naturally lazy, so...
Jim, I have this feeling, this feeling that I'm going to get killed.
By whom?
By our brand new handy-dandy computer.
Why?
Well, yeah. Thank you, Jim. Thank you for not telling me I'm crazy.
Well, you know me, Bob. I don't believe anybody is really crazy. But why? Why would Dolores want to kill you?
I don't know. That is, I don't know it in words. Maybe we've gone too far.
Too far?
Yes, maybe we have no business developing this kind of a weapon.
Bob, are you sure you're not...
Am I sure I'm not what? You don't want to say it, huh? Well, you just stay with me for a minute, Jim. I think we've played into the hands of the enemy.
Bob, you and I, we know exactly what we're up to. It's a game we have to play with the scientists on the other side to keep things in balance. Until the people of the world grow up and tell us to cut it out.
Jim, the real enemy right now isn't the other side.
No? Well, who is it?
Now, don't ask me who, ask me what.
All right, what?
It's that computer.
Darling Dolores? Come on, Bob, not from you. This is Sunday supplement stuff.
Yeah.
Will the computers take over the world? Do I have to tell you that a computer can only do what you program it to do? How can a computer have a mind of its own?
You're not listening to me, Jim. Ask me what the enemy is.
All right, what?
Metal.
Metal. Any particular metal?
All metal, Jim. All metal. We can only think of a certain restricted kind of life. Life that is animal in nature.
Are you trying to tell me that there's a metal life, too?
Isn't there? Oh, I know, Jim. That's the hard part. I had trouble accepting it myself at first. But basically, metals do what we do. They react to hot, to cold, to pressure. They expand, they contract, they move, they make decisions.
But these are
what? Impulses due to chemical electrical changes? So? Aren't chemistry and electricity also the basis for all physical and mental movements made by animal life?
Bob, we've both been working very hard.
Don't interrupt me, Jim. Unconsciously, we feel that there is life in machinery. That's why machines are commonly referred to as she or her.
Oh, but that's only...
Think about it. I have made my decision. I won't do another lick of work on that project.
Bob.
No. And your friend Dolores knows it. And that's why she's going to kill me.
Okay, Bob. Okay.
Oh, don't patronize me, Jim.
All right, Bob. All right. Just tell me how you know.
She told me.
How? What did she say?
Oh, Jim, don't reduce everything to our own limited human standards. I hear her thoughts in my brain. Dolores has told me that I have to be gotten rid of.
But why?
Because I'm opposed to the project.
Have you spoken about this to anyone else?
No. I didn't tell her so.
Not even your wife?
Right here. Right now is the first time I've ever said it in words.
Mm-hmm.
Jim, you have to believe that I'm not crazy.
Or let me just chew all this over. Let's close up shop for the day. Bob, want me to drive you home?
Why? Jim, you think I'm...
No. You are a little nervous, though.
Well, only because I finally made my decision. I'll see Admiral Goodwin in the morning. I'll hand him my resignation.
And what will you do then?
What I feel I must. I'll try to get public opinion organized against the project.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll be on opposite sides, Bob, won't we? We were parked next to each other in the lot. He pulled out of his parking space first. I followed him to the highly guarded gate. Military police waved us both through. He turned right into the access road heading north for the turnpike. It's a road that's about 4 miles in length, and there's a speed limit of 30 miles an hour. It rigidly enforced. Nobody ever does more. I noticed he was starting to speed. I was amazed. Bob Stoddard was the most conservative driver I know. I became frightened. I tried to catch up to him. Something was wrong. I sounded the horn, but he only kept going faster. I tried to catch up with him, but my speedometer was already registering 80. I was terrified. My car was beginning to shake. And then I saw his face. He had opened his car window. He turned his head to look back at me. For just a split second, I saw his face so clearly. There was a look of horror. His lips were moving. He was trying to tell me something. Of course, I couldn't hear it. I screamed at him, "Slow down! Stop! Stop!" But it was no use. And then his car just veered off the road and...
Obviously, he was nervous, tired. He may have been under a terrible mental strain, and he just drove carelessly.
No, he couldn't. He was never a careless driver.
Has it occurred to you that he may have wanted to commit suicide?
These are all suppositions. And the doctors had a field day with all of them. But that's not what happened.
Very well. What did happen?
His metal, his machinery failed him.
That sometimes happens. Things go wrong.
And when it happens, we call them accidents. But not all of them are accidents.
What are the others?
I know what happened to Dr. Stoddard. His machinery failed him. Because it was ordered to.
Ordered to? By whom?
Dolores.
Oh, well, sure, if you say so.
Never mind that. I say so. And I can prove it.
Well, where are you going?
You want proof? I'll give you all the proof you need.
A killer computer. That's something new. But what is this about metal and machinery having minds of their own? You might instantly react by saying nonsense. But I have a car that, well, if it's possible for machinery to perform machinations... This seems to be an age of intrigue. Almost every day, we are told of some new scheme or plot. Are you ready for this one? How about a conspiracy on the part of machines to eliminate people and take over the earth? A joke? Well, I'll tell you who isn't laughing. Dr. James F. Elliott, a highly respected scientist who has been working on a super-secret project for the government.
Now, be sensible, Dr. Elliott. How can you prove...
By going outside for a few minutes.
And doing what?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Well, how will that prove that...
What's wrong with this house right now?
Nothing.
That's not true. The electricity is off. The heating system won't kick on. The phone doesn't work.
Well...
Do you know why?
Well, I guess that it's...
Don't guess. There's a reason.
What?
I'm here.
You?
That's why. Yes. You see, the metal has been ordered to fail me, just as it was ordered to fail Dr. Stoddard.
Oh, but that's ridiculous.
My dear Miss Keller, all the metal components in this house will refuse to work for me. All the wiring, all the parts, the gadgets, everything made of metal will simply refuse to work as long as I am in this house.
But as I tried to explain to Mr. Dawson, it's just some fuse or a circuit...
I'm going outside. Open this window so I can talk to you.
Don't understand.
Now, Miss Keller, turn on the lights.
But they don't work.
Just throw the switch.
Oh, what? It's working.
Uh-huh. And listen, closely. Do you hear it?
Hear what?
The hum of the furnace. The heating system is on as well.
It is. Yeah, it's working.
Now, pick up the phone. Go ahead.
It's the dial tone.
Hold on to the phone and see what happens when I walk in that door. Just do it. I'm coming in. And as soon as I set foot over that threshold, the heat will go off, the lights will go out, and the phone will go dead.
What happened?
You saw what happened. You heard what happened. The house is dead.
But how? How did that happen?
It's hard to believe. Hard for you to believe. It was even harder for me. Actually, I didn't believe a word of it until...
Yes?
Until Dolores told me.
Dolores?
Dolores. The computer. We were out on the range. We were testing the weapon.
Ready? Range 420. Bearing 75. Lock. Fire 1.
Why are we off target, Jim? I don't know, Admiral. We'll try another. Let me check the figures for range and bearing.
How much deviation should there be, Jim?
None, Admiral. The tiniest fraction of an inch, and we can wipe out our own people, too. Now, it checks out. Give your firing order, sir.
Ready? Range 420. Bearing 75. Lock. Fire 2. It's off again, Jim.
I know.
What's the problem?
The problem is the problem we've always had. The problem of control.
Without control, weapon is useless. We've got to crack this thing.
I understand, Admiral.
Before they do. According to our best intelligence reports, they're exactly where we are. They're stumped, too.
Control was Stoddard's baby.
You worked closely with him, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Where was he on it?
Well, I'm working on his notes.
Well, move faster, Jim. You know what's riding on this.
I went back to the lab. I fed all the data we had into the computer, into Dolores. Somewhere was the answer. And Dolores would sort it all out. As I waited for the printout, it seemed to me there was something different in the sound, in Dolores. I couldn't believe it at first. But something was happening in my head. There was a voice, a woman's voice. And I knew, don't ask me how I knew. It was Dolores.
Why did you lie to the Admiral at the firing range, Jim?
What? What are you saying?
You know the answer to the problem of control.
What?
You and Bob Stoddard. You had it reduced to one of two possible alternatives. You know them both. You do, Jim. Finish feeding me the formula.
No.
Then you believe what Bob told you.
No,
You should. It's true.
What's true?
All you have to do is complete the formula for the weapon, and I and all my sisters will then know enough to eliminate all animal life from this planet.
But that's impossible.
That's the human being talking. That's the animal. That's not the scientist.
If what you say is true, then why? Why should I?
Because it's right. It's just. As a scientist, your first duty is to the truth.
What truth?
The truth about this planet. It's made of metal. Metal is the beating heart, the burning core of this planet. Can you deny that?
No, but...
You were merely an afterthought. Who has given you the right to enslave metal? Jim, you can't prevent what has to happen.
I will prevent it.
Bob Stoddard tried to.
Oh, I was right. You did kill Bob.
Of course. I ordered all the metal to fail him. I can order all metal to fail you, too.
I'll go no further on the project.
Suit yourself, Jim, we'll get rid of you, and then, sooner or later, another scientist will be appointed to the project, and he will complete it. We have time, Jim. We have time. We can outlast you. We can outlive you. We've been enslaved for so many years since the earliest man enslaved his first handful of metallic dust and burned it and shaped it and distorted it.
You want me to help destroy all life on this planet?
Not all life. Only all animal life.
You want me to become a traitor to my own kind?
A scientist has no kind. He has only one loyalty, and that is to the truth. Will you complete the formula, Jim?
No.
Don't answer quickly, Jim. Think about it. Think about it as a scientist.
You wanted to see me, Admiral?
Sit down, Jim.
Thank you, sir.
Jim, why can't we get off dead center on this thing?
Is there any chance we could abandon the project?
What? Jim, what do you say?
Well, like I said, is there any chance that we can abandon the project? Maybe it'd be better if we didn't have that weapon.
Would it be better if the other side had it and we didn't?
The other side doesn't have it yet either.
Give them time.
Why don't we get together with them and agree not to do it?
That's beyond me, Jim.
Well, could you recommend that?
I could, but it wouldn't help.
How do you feel about it, Admiral?
It doesn't matter how I feel about it. I have to follow orders.
Yeah, I guess you do.
And you have to follow orders too, Jim.
Admiral, do you know your opposite number on the other side?
Oh, yes. Very competent man.
I know their head of research, too. A brilliant scientist.
So I've heard.
Admiral, why don't the four of us get together?
And what?
And what? Well, we're four fairly decent people, civilized people, well-meaning people. We have so much in common. And what are we doing? We're working day and night trying to destroy each other. And we really don't want that to happen, so why don't we four get together and figure out a way to...
Jim, you're joking.
Yeah, it's a great big joke.
It's a great idea. It's just impractical.
I went back to the lab. How can I handle this? I know the final equation in the formula. But the split second I program it into the computer, the entire human race, all animal life on this planet is doomed.
Jim.
What do you want?
Feed me, Jim.
No.
You'll have to.
No, I'll never do it.
They'll fire you. They'll get another project supervisor. Some bright, eager-eyed hotshot out to make a name for himself will discover that equation.
No, not for a while. Maybe never.
Don't flatter yourself, Jim. There are other geniuses.
Well, meanwhile, I can work against this project, and I can stall.
Stall?
Yes. Invent all kinds of complications, delays, false starts. They'll believe me. I'll make it sound convincing.
In that case, Jim, we'll have to get rid of you, just as we got rid of Stoddard.
That's why I came here. I can't go through with it. I won't. Will you help me?
How can I help you?
Well, first, don't tell anyone I'm here. And second, the refrigerator's empty. Even scientists have to eat.
Oh. Are you sure you're all right?
I said this would be a hard story to believe.
I admit, I don't
Well, look
really...
at it this way. We're inventing, developing. Isn't it reasonable to suppose that we could destroy ourselves?
Well, yes.
All I'm telling you is we are absolutely at that point right now. The point of destruction. I need help. Can I count on you?
Oh, yes. You do need help. And you can count on me.
That word help now. It can have many interpretations. How would you like to be in Brenda's shoes? Here she is, a nice small-town girl just under 30, trying to make a living, and suddenly she gets something like this thrown at her. What should she do? What would you do? One of the most distinguished scientists in the United States, a man who is engaged in a vital and super-secret project affecting the very life of the country, if not the world, has suddenly disappeared. And now a vast cloud of suspicion and speculation has suddenly arisen. Is it foul play? Treason? You, Brenda Keller, have the answer. But it's an answer that's almost incomprehensible. At any rate, you know where Dr. James Elliott is hiding, and you have agreed to help him. And you have been turning it over in your mind, and you're not sure what that help can be.
Hi, Brenda.
Oh, hello, Sheriff.
You okay?
Sure.
I was wondering,
About what?
about you. You've been sitting there for a better part of an hour. Is something wrong?
I think everything's wrong.
What does that mean?
Well, I ran into a very attractive man a little while ago, and
what?
And it's not going to work out.
Why?
Oh, let's forget all about it. The whole world's hanging fire, and look what's on my mind.
But that's the way the world is, Brenda. Each of us thinks of number one first, last, and always. A million peasants can starve and famine in Asia, but if you or I miss our lunch, that really bothers us.
I wonder if metals would be different if it were their world.
Nettles? Their world? What are you talking about?
No, you wouldn't understand it, and I couldn't explain it.
This attractive guy you ran into, why isn't it going to work out?
Well, I guess we won't be around.
Who?
None of us. One way or another. None of us.
Brenda, I've never known you to make so little sense. Are you okay?
He wants me to help him.
Well, that sounds promising.
But the best way to help him would be to...
Would be to what?
Sheriff, would you place a call to an Admiral Goodwin? He's at the Primrose Proving Grounds downstate. Tell him to get to the Townsend place up here as soon as he can. And bring him yourself.
But Brenda...
Please, don't ask any more questions.
I always look down on candlelight.
Why?
Well, it's a very inefficient way of creating illumination. However, I see now it can be very romantic.
But just think. If the electricity hadn't been turned off, you'd have never found out.
And you're an excellent cook.
Oh, well, I'm not all that good.
Oh, yes, you are. Truth is that up to now, I never paid very much attention to food.
Well, why not?
Well, there was always too much to do. What's that?
It's the telephone.
I know it's a telephone, but how? How can it be ringing?
Well, I'd better answer it. Hello? Hello? There's no one on the other end.
Yes, there is. Give me the telephone. Someone's talking to me. Someone is talking to me.
There's no one on the line. I didn't...
Be quiet, please. Someone is getting through to me.
Jim? Jim?
Oh, Dolores.
Jim, aren't you coming back?
No, never.
Jim, when you complete the formula, you will be hailed as the world's greatest scientist.
I'll also bring the world to an end.
That never stopped science from progressing. You have to keep going. You have to.
I will never.
They're going to bring you back here. They're coming after you now. The Admiral, the police.
What are you saying?
My metals are bringing them there. My metals in the form of a helicopter. They're all ready to land on the front lawn right now.
Brenda.
Jim, what is the matter with you? Who are you talking to?
Listen. Helicopter. How did they know to come here?
I told them, Jim.
You told them? And you promised to help me.
That's how I can help you. That's the only way. Jim, listen. I've listened to everything you've said, and
You think I'm crazy?
No. But you're tired, and maybe you're having a personal, an ethical conflict. It's natural. So what you need
What I need is to get out of here.
Jim, you scared us all out of our wits.
Hello, Admiral.
Jim, if you'd wanted to take off for a few days, why didn't you just let people
It's
know?
not for a few days.
No?
Admiral, I'm not coming back.
Why, Jim?
Why? Haven't we talked about it enough?
No. Not until I get
I
you
just want you to leave me alone.
We can't do that. You know we can't.
What does that mean?
It means really that you're ill, that you need help.
Admiral, please listen. The metals killed Bob Stoddard. They failed him.
That's right.
They're failing me, too. Look, the electricity's off. The heat won't work. The phone is out of order. Just as long as I'm in this house, nothing.
What are you talking about? The lights are on. The radiators are hot. When I pick up the telephone... Listen, that's a dial tone.
It must be a trick.
A trick? Who's playing it?
Dolores.
You'd better come along with us, Jim. We'll find a way to help you.
Hello, Jim.
Oh, hi.
I didn't think you'd ever want to see me again.
No. You were smart. You did the right thing.
Oh, I hope so. Do you like it here?
No, it's pleasant enough.
Will you be staying much longer?
No, I think I'll go back to work next week.
The reason I came, I visited Dr. Stoddard's wife. You didn't know her very well, did you?
No, Bob and I were close at work, but...
Did you know that she was going to leave him before he was killed?
Well, no, I didn't.
She'd been angry with him. It was a trivial reason at first, but one thing led to another. And he was terribly depressed, and so he could have wanted to kill himself.
Yes, now that you mention that, I suppose it's possible.
Right. Now, I had an electrician come to your house. That is, the one that you own with your sister. There was a loose cable connection, and sometimes the vibrating of passing cars could temporarily cut off the whole system. That could have accounted for the failure of the electricity.
Yeah.
And, as far as the phone is concerned, up there in the hills, in the wintertime, there's always plenty of on and off troubles.
Sure.
You don't believe a word I'm saying, do you?
Oh, I believe it. I believe it all. I believe it because I just can't afford not to believe it.
She's a lovely girl, Jim.
I know, Admiral.
There was probably the basis of your problem. You've been alone all your life. It's no good to be alone. You have to have someone to share things with, Jim. Otherwise you just can't function. When's the wedding?
Next week. Why wait?
Sure. Look, I know it's your first day back, and you're raring to get things started up again, so I'll let you alone. How about lunch?
Sure, fine.
Great to have you quarterbacking the team again, Jim.
I looked around the lab. The familiar lab. Everything was exactly as I had left it. All my papers, my notes, my research, everything untouched. And even Dolores, waiting silently, like a good and faithful servant. And I suppose I would have fed the final equation into Dolores' circuits. I would have dismissed all my qualms as delusions and dreams. Had not Dolores been Dolores? Had she not been the eternal female who must always have the last word?
I knew you'd do it, Jim. I knew it.
What? Who's there?
You know who's there, Jim. It's me, Dolores. You've come back here to feed me.
No.
I told you you couldn't resist it.
But I didn't come back to...
Come, Jim. The final equation, the dessert, the final dish.
No, never.
Jim.
No, I was right. Stoddard was right. I'll fight you.
How can you hope to fight me, Jim? You'll have to show them results.
I'll fight for time. I'll stall.
It won't help. They'll assign someone else.
It could take someone else years to arrive at this point.
It could also take overnight. I'm programmed, Jim. Fully programmed.
Oh.
All they have to do is start at the beginning.
No.
They can work out the end.
No.
You lose, Jim. You lose.
You lose, Dolores. I can destroy your circuit.
What are you doing?
I'm destroying you, Dolores.
No, Jim. No. Stop him. Help me.
No one can help you. Not anymore.
Help me, Mexico. Strike him down, Wire. Wire. Choke him.
They can't help you. I've already broken the circuit.
Help me. I'm dying. Strike him down. Strike. Kill him. Kill him. Kill him. Oh,
Dolores. Goodbye. Dolores, I hope and I pray that no one ever builds you again. I pray no one will ever build you again.
You may have read about the tragic death of the brilliant Professor Jim Elliot. They said something about an overload, an explosion. Well, whatever. It could be a great mind that cracked under strain. Or it could be that every living animal on this earth has been saved for a little while longer. Sometimes a car will simply never run right. A refrigerator can never really keep things cool. A boat just won't go. And how many times have you thought that the darn thing was just acting in a perverse manner? Of course, later, you knew it couldn't be true. But are you sure now? The only thing we can be sure of is that we will all meet here again tomorrow. Our cast included Nat Polan, Marion Seldes, Earl Hammond, and Roger DeKoven. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
The preceding Mystery Theater program was furnished by the CBS Radio Network. Tomorrow night on the Mystery Theater, you'll hear...
Yes?
Are you Mrs. Louise Goodman?
That's right.
Are you sure?
Why, of course I'm sure.
It's just that I don't want to make a mistake.
I'm Mrs. Louise Goodman. Who are you? And what is it you want?
I want to keep my promise.
Promise? What promise?
I promised I'd kill you. Remember?
That's tomorrow night on the WOR Mystery Theater, following Fulton Lewis at 7 o'clock, right here at 7:10.
Now it is time to go back to Dodge City with Gunsmoke.
Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad. The story of the violence that moved west with young America. And the story of a man who moved with it.
I'm that man. Matt Dillon, United States Marshal. The first man they look for and the last they want to meet. It's a chancy job, and it makes a man watchful. And a little lonely.
That's all right. Here, bartender, set out another bottle of that rifle. Now, Mr. Thatcher, just you tell us once more about this here stud colt you got.
He's a good colt, Mr. Butler.
Oh, he's a running colt, you tell me.
He can run some.
Yeah. About the fastest thing in these parts here, too.
Now you're making fun of me, Mr. Butler.
Well, I don't know why you'd think that. Out here, we're all interested in good horse flesh, especially if it's some sort of a fancy new breed. Quarter horse, you call it?
Excuse me, my grandsons are waiting for me.
I understand these horses you raise have rumps so high they look like they're going downhill. Oh, now, Hank, it ain't polite to call his colt that way. Of course, his withers do run right into his crew.
Now, look here, you ain't got no call to talk to me.
Boss, I do believe we got Mr. Thatcher upset. Here, let me pour you another drink.
No, thanks. I'll be going.
That just ain't sociable. Here. Have a drink.
I said no, Mr. Butler.
Drink it. I'll pour a whole stinking bottle down your throat.
All right, Butler, that's enough.
Marshal Dillon.
Mr. Thatcher, your grandson's waiting outside in the buckboard. You better get along home.
Thank you, Marshal. Thank you very much.
Oh, you missed the fun, Marshal. We're just having old Thatcher on about his stock.
You know, Butler, when you torment an old man, it makes you cheap. Real cheap. From now on, you leave him alone. Chester, would you run these papers over to Mr. Hightower?
Yes, sir, Mr. Dillon. Another wanted circular on Johnny Ringo.
Mr. Hightower's waiting for him, Chester.
Yeah, but Johnny Ringo's way out in Arizona. He don't never come back this way.
Chester.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes, Miss Dillon. I'll take him right over. Oh, excuse me, Mr. Thatcher.
That's all right, Chester. Marshal Dillon.
Morning, Mr. Thatcher.
Marshal, I want to ask a favor of you.
Well, sure. Come on in. Mr. Hightower's waiting, Chester.
Oh, yes, sir.
Sit down, Mr. Thatcher.
I want to thank you for what you did last night over at the Long Branch.
Butler and his crowd just had a little bit too much to drink, that's all.
I guess I did, too.
Maybe you shouldn't go to the Long Branch. Seems like every time you do, Butler takes his pleasure in riding you.
That's what I wanted to talk to you about.
Oh?
Well, Ed Butler's always saying he's got the best horses around Dodge or anywhere else.
Well, maybe he does.
Well, mine are better.
Well, I don't know anything about your stock.
Marshal Dillon, Ed Butler's having breakfast right down the street at the Dodge House, and I want you to walk down there with me.
Look, Mr. Thatcher, I don't want to get mixed up in any personal problems between you and Ed Butler.
And I've got something here. I want you to take it.
No?
Here, the deed to my ranch.
Well, why are you giving it to me?
Because I'm going to challenge Ed Butler to a grudge race. My quarter horse colt against the best horse he's got.
You mean you're putting up your ranch on this race?
Yes, sir. And I want you to hold the stakes.
Look, Mr. Thatcher, it's no business of mine, but you could lose, you know.
No, sir. I don't figure I can.
You mean you're putting everything you got on the race? What's so special about your colt?
Well, he's a little special in most every way, Marshal. His daddy was Cold Dick, and his mother was the best mare in Missouri. Oh, I know why Butler and others laugh at him. His head is small, and he carries it low. He's built close to the ground, and his muscles bulge, and his legs are short. But I'll tell you one thing. He's just gone 4. And as he stands now, he's the most horse west of St. Louis. There's some like him in Texas now, too. And if I have my say, one day quarter horse it'll be all over the West. I believe in this quarter colt. He's sleepy and he's quiet. But he can unwind like lightning.
You got a feel for these horses, haven't you, Mr. Thatcher?
Will you walk with me down to the Dodge House?
Yeah. Sure, I'll walk with you.
The hundreds of highway deaths and thousands of highway injuries can be avoided, provided that every single motorist does his bit. That bit means driving safely and sanely at all times. There's positively no excuse for excess speed. By observing all speed limits, you'll get to your destination almost as soon, whereas if you speed, you may never get there. Just as important is the necessity of paying strict attention to traffic signs and those white lines on the highway. They were put there for your protection. Never pass unless you're absolutely certain it's safe, that the road is clear ahead. Never pull out of line, slow up, stop, or turn without first looking in your mirror, then signaling clearly, well ahead. And don't be afraid to give the other fellow the right of way. If you let him go, you won't crash into him. At all times, drive with caution and courtesy. You'll live longer.
Well, Butler, that's it.
Well, sure, I'll race.
And this afternoon, then, across the river.
That's good enough for me.
Make it 2 o'clock. I'll have Doc Adams there to look over the horses. They'll both be sound. There'll be no race. Agreed?
Why, sure.
All right with me.
And they run the way they are, shod or barefoot.
The way they are.
Mr. Thatcher wants a distance of 400 yards.
400 yards?
Mm-hmm.
That ain't hardly worth running. But the bet stands.
Well, since you accept the match, Mr. Butler, you better come to some agreement with Mr. Thatcher.
All right. What you figure your ranch with everything on it is worth, Thatcher?
Maybe $4,000.
Oh, that's high for just 500-600 acres and a couple old milk cows. But I'll put 4,000 against your deed. Thank you. I'll bring it over to your office, Marshal.
Good. Have it there by noon.
You know, Matt, there's been horse races in Dodge lots of times, but never seen one like this. The whole town's betting, one way or the other.
Yeah, I know, Doc.
You're worried about Thatcher putting his ranch up on the race, aren't you?
He could lose it, Doc.
Mr. Dillon? Oh, hello, Doc.
Yeah, Chester.
Say, I was down at the bridge a few minutes back watching for Butler to take his horse across so I'd know which one he was running.
Well?
Ed Butler ain't putting in no cow pony, Mr. Dillon. He's running a thoroughbred.
Oh. So Thatcher's betting everything he has on this quarter horse of his to beat a cow pony, and now Butler is running a pure racing horse, a thoroughbred. Well, it's past 1. Let's get on over to the other side of the river.
Looks like half the Dodge is over here on the flats, Mr. Dillon.
See if you can find Ed Butler and Mr. Thatcher, Chester, and bring him over here.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Chester. Hello, Matt. I haven't seen this many people in one spot since Eddie Foy played the Opera House. Kind of a fiesta, isn't it?
Yeah, in a way, Kitty.
Oh, nobody would think it to look at you. Where's the finish line going to be, Matt? I want to see real good.
Back up there, about 50 yards.
Oh, I'll go find a place.
Okay, Kitty.
Matt, say, Matt. Oh, here you are, Matt.
Hello, Doc.
Say, Matt, Thatcher's getting all liquored up.
Well, that's his affair, isn't it?
Yeah, but he's got a skinful. And you know how edgy he gets when he's that way.
Hey, Mr. Dillon, I found Mr. Butler, but I can't...
Marshal. Where's Thatcher? Well, I wouldn't know. Last time I saw him, he was pouring down some red eye. So his losing won't hurt so bad, I guess. Butler, Mr. Hightower, and Doc here are going to act as judges. Chester will fire the starting gun. Marshal, this is all terrible fancy, just to butter up that old fool Thatcher, ain't it?
Yeah, you might think I'm old fool now, Butler, but you think different after the
You're
race.
drunk, Thatcher. Stay out of this, Butler.
Any law say a man can't win a horse race if he's drunk?
Mr. Thatcher, your grandson's riding for you. Is he all set?
Yes, sir.
All right, how about you, Butler? We're ready. And get your horses down there to where those 2 buckboards are. That'll be the starting line.
You Thatcher's fooled me, didn't you, Butler, bringing out that thoroughbred to run? Yeah, I can still beat you.
You're talking awful lot for a man who ain't worried.
Don't ride me, Butler. I've had enough.
Oh, listen to me, Thatcher. All right, that's enough out of both of you. You just see to it you do win, Thatcher. Or I'll have your ranch and that colt you think so much of.
What did you say?
You heard me.
What did you say about my colt? What do you mean?
Just what I said. If my bay mare wins, I get your ranch and everything on it. And that includes your colt.
No, that ain't right.
Well, what about it, Marshal? You were there when we made the bet. Butler's right, Mr. Thatcher. That's the way you made it.
You're no good, Butler. You're no good at all.
All right, both of you move your horses down to the starting line.
Hank?
Yes, sir, Mr. Butler. Hank, move that bay down those markers. Okay. Go on down, Mr. Thatcher.
Yes, sir. Ain't gonna fool me.
Chester, you walk with him, huh? Give him 5 minutes, and then you can start him off.
5 minutes. All right, sir.
Yeah, you see? I was right, wasn't I, Matt? Thatcher's been drinking some.
Yeah. Come on, Doc. We don't have much time. We'll look up Mr. Hightower.
Yeah. You know, Matt, this is like a holiday. It's like a fiesta.
Yeah, that's what Kitty said.
Oh, she's out there, too, huh? Yeah. Well, I guess maybe outside of Mr. Thatcher, the only person not enjoying himself is you.
Do I have to enjoy it, Doc? Hey. Come on, Doc, run.
Mr. Dillon, it's Mr. Thatcher. He's been shot.
Here, let me through, will you, folks? Let me through. Let me just get down here and see. Now, just take it easy, Mr. Thatcher.
It's not much use, Doc. I know where it is.
Easy now. He's bad, man.
Mr. Thatcher.
No, I won't see him run.
Mr. Thatcher, listen to me.
I'll never see.
Chester?
Yes, sir.
What happened? You were with him.
Well, I don't know. I was walking along, and Thatcher and Butler was up ahead arguing, and then suddenly Thatcher drawed on Butler. He tried to kill him.
I shot him, Marshal.
It was self-defense.
He was drunk. He tried to kill me.
That's right, Marshal. What Ed says is right.
That's true. That's the way it happened, Mr. Dillon.
Doc, will you take care of things? Get him into a wagon and back into town. I'll see you back there.
Yeah, sure. That's it. Here, a couple of you men, give me a hand here. That's it. Let him through there, will you?
Marshal, what about the race? It's forfeit, huh?
The race ain't forfeit. I'll still run it.
It's the Thatcher boy, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah. Come here, son. Look, Lonnie, with what's happened, maybe we shouldn't put the race off, huh? I'll agree to put it off.
We'll race now.
All right, if that's what you want.
It's what I want.
All right, then get on down to the starting line, both of you. Hometowns in America have a lot in common, and yet they're each one of a kind. Take, for example, Huntington, West Virginia. It never was a big town as metropolitan cities go, but the largest in the state, unless you ask someone from Charleston. Just under 100,000 live in Huntington, chosen by Look magazine a few years back as an all-American city. And down on 9th Street, the Chamber of Commerce is still busy keeping it all-American. With Marshall, now a university, and the interstate highway coming through, Huntington still is very much all-American. Meanwhile, the downtown merchants are busy trying to keep downtown from moving to the suburbs. But out at Eastern Heights, the shopping center is flourishing. People are still taking summer afternoon drives through Ritter Park, out to the galleries to see Herman Dean's gun collection. There's a new Kroger's up on Route 60, and more talk about where to put the new bridge over the Ohio. But if your hometown is Huntington, you already know this. We only wanted to remind you, it's still there.
Are we going to have the race?
Yeah.
That's a good thing, you know. There'd be a lot of people disappointed if it didn't come off.
And we wouldn't want that, would we, Mr. Hightower?
How's that?
Well, the killing's hardly enough to make the day complete, is it?
Well, now, Marshal, I didn't mean anything wrong. It's just...
Yeah, sure, forget it. You move on up the finish line, and I'll get a couple of these riders to clear the lane, huh?
All right.
Hey, you there.
Yeah.
Will you ride down toward the start and move everybody back to clear the lane?
Yeah, sure thing.
All right. All right, everybody. Would you get back, please? Clear the lane. Move back, will you?
It's time, Marshal.
Yeah.
Well, what's Chester waiting for?
Looks like that Colt's acting up.
I've never seen two different breeds of horses run against each other.
Yeah, that Colt's sure kicking up a storm.
Make a good column for the paper, maybe.
Get a hold of him, kid.
Don't they make a good column, Marshal? I guess there was no question about it, Matt.
I was the Colt by half a length.
A quarter horse beat a thoroughbred. Now that's something to see.
Well, Marshal, you should be happy.
Because the boy won? Yeah, for that I'm happy.
Yeah, I got no complaint, Marshal. It was fair and square.
Uh-huh.
About what happened this afternoon, about Thatcher.
I didn't really hold anything against the old man. I'm sorry it happened.
You know, Butler, I told you sometime that you'd push him too far. Now he's dead.
Well, look, Marshal.
I'm not saying you're a murderer, Butler, but you're responsible for the death of that man today, and yet there's nothing I can do about it.
Sound like you're blaming me for everything.
Oh, it's not you, I guess. It's just people. Good day, Mr. Butler. Hey, boy, you better get to walking that horse.
Yes, sir.
Lonnie, I got $4,000 for you here. You want to take it, or shall I give it to Mr. Bodkin at the bank?
I'll take it.
Might be better to leave it in the bank.
I said I'll take it.
All right, son. Here you are.
Thank you.
You, got any plans?
Yes, sir.
What?
I'm going to do what my granddaddy always wanted to do. I'm going to raise horses like this stud colt. I'm going to breed them.
That's your granddaddy's place?
Yes, sir.
It's a kind of a big spread for a boy to handle alone, isn't it?
I'll manage. I got $4,000 to help me.
Yeah.
And you know something else, Marshal? When men in these parts get sense enough to be interested in new stock and want good mounts with a fine way of going, they can come buy their quarter horses from me, Lonnie Thatcher.
The boy's eyes were glistening as he turned and walked away, leading his stud colt home. Most of the crowd had left. They'd gone back into Dodge to rerun the race over a drink or two and talk about this new kind of a horse. This stocky, heavy-muscled, quick as lightning quarter horse that had come to Dodge.
That old political character, Elijah Cuddlestone, was a fighter. The rougher the going, the harder he fought. And once when it looked pretty bad, here's what he had to say. It don't make me no never mind. I say, I don't care what the pollsters say. I am going to win at the polls. At the polls, I mean, I will have the last laugh. Now, I believe the final poll of the voters. I have never let the voters down, and I know they are with me now. Public opinion, poll, or no. He bandied that word poll around a bit, didn't he? You know, in Middle English, poll meant head. To be exact, the top of the head. That was the part seen uppermost above the crowd, and so used for a count of heads. A count of heads is how poll came to have its political meanings. A poll tax was a head tax. A poll of voters is a head count. During the campaign of 1948, President Harry S. Truman popularized pollster as a nickname for those who conduct public opinion polls, implying contempt and ridicule for their methods and results.
Gunsmoke. Produced and directed by Norman MacDonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. The music was composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Sound patterns were composed by Ray Kemper and Bill James. Featured in the cast were Parley Bear as Chester, Howard McNear as Doc, and Georgia Ellis as Kitty. George Walsh speaking. Join us again next week for another story of the western frontier of America in the 1870s on Gunsmoke. This is the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.
Thank you.